Hey everyone, and welcome to Television from the Multiverse, the DC TV podcast from MailFuzz TV. I am Peter. Over in the red corner is Connor.
Yes, it is.
And I didn't get that wrong. I said that
For the first time in quite a while, you
completely.
nailed it.
Well, I've not tried to do the corner and Connor thing back to back in a while, but I
Shit,
nailed it.
you did. Return to form.
It was perfect. So, yes, we talk about DC TV shows. Coming up on this week's episode, we have Titans.
Everything.
Sorry?
We have everything.
We do have everything, but specifically we have Titans, Supergirl, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, The Flash, and Black Lightning. And that's what we'll be talking about on this week's show. And we have some surprising opinions on one or two of those shows. So
Yes, we do.
look forward to that. We have one little teensy bit of news, and it's not much. It's not much. There's some casting for Stargirl. They've not told us who these actors are playing yet. But Yvette Monreal, or Monreal probably, and Christopher James Baker have both been cast as regulars in Stargirl. So they're spilling up, shows casting.
Yeah, I know it said they are undisclosed DC characters, so they are
Characters,
names.
they're heroes or villains of some description.
Yeah. There doesn't seem to be any scuttlebutt on who though, so just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's hard to guess though, because I feel like a lot of supporting cast in this might be like straight D-listers, because it's like Stargirl's friends as opposed to full-on members of the JSA who were all a bit more not
I
all,
agree.
but
Yeah.
I mean, I might know who these characters are when they tell me who, but I mean,
We could do. Maybe that's why they're keeping them under wraps. Because if it's it doesn't really matter. Just tell them.
And the other thing, I won't mention it just in case it's considered a spoiler, but back when they announced Jeremy Davies' character for the crossover for Elseworlds, they gave us this, Doctor whoever name, and it was like, oh, that's just a made up name, because I even searched it at the time just in case. It was like, oh, maybe I just don't know who this is. Maybe this is a DC character, and it wasn't. But he is actually playing a DC character, and I won't say it for spoiler's sake, but
Is it who I said it could be?
I can't remember what you said.
Okay. Because I've not seen this.
Yeah, but it's confirmed that he's playing a certain character. Connor's looking it up.
I'm figuring if I just put his name in and put news.
Or even just Elseworlds character and see if it pops up. I'm just waiting for Connor's
Intrigued.
reaction just to see if it's what he thought it was. I can't remember what he said. I'm not surprised at who it is. It seems it makes sense. But
I mean, I'm not seeing a definitive article. So, I mean, nothing's popping up immediately.
I saw a lot of conversation in the past week looking pretty sure that it was a certain character. Maybe the word confirm was a bit strong, but
Okay. This is the one that I'm seeing. It's not who I said it could be.
okay.
It wasn't my first guess, but I mean, okay.
There you go. So that was it. That was all the news. Unless I am missing something. Oh, actually, there was a full trailer for Elseworlds, right?
There was, yeah.
There was. It was basically just it was a mix of all the teasers we already had. And it was a quick shot of Batwoman on a rooftop, which was kind of cool. And you see like the monitor give the doctor the book, and he's like, you'll shape worlds, blah blah, or something to that effect. It looks fun. I mean,
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it.
I am also looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the shenanigans, either genuinely good shenanigans or a fun mess of shenanigans. But I will be somewhat
Well, we'll
satisfied.
find out in about 2 weeks.
I will be somewhat satisfied either way, I guess is what I'm saying. But yeah, so yeah, with it further ado, we'll get into the shows. We got 6 shows. These could go a while, so let's not
Yeah, let's not mess
dilly
around.
Actually, although one thing we should say, just to let everyone know, there's a poll up for the off-season content. We had one a week or two ago for deciding whether or not we should keep Smallville and Lois and Clark and just go into season 2s of those, or because we'd finished those seasons, switch over to 2 other shows from DC's archive, if you will. So the first of 2 polls is up right now. Again, if you go to YouTube, MailFuzz TV's YouTube page, and click on the community tab, there'll be a vote either at the top post or near the top to pick the first of the 2 shows. There's 3 options there. One is Gotham, which obviously will be starting from the start, season 1. Season 1 of Birds of Prey, the only season of Birds of Prey, in fact. And season 1 of Swamp Thing, which believe it or not, got 3 seasons on USA Network, so that exists. But yeah, so there's already been a bunch of votes put up a few hours ago, but go and have a look if you've not seen that yet. So there you go. Without further ado, we will get on to the shows. First up, Titans. Season 1, Episode 7. It is called Asylum. And no, it's not Arkham.
That'd be too interesting, wouldn't it?
Look, I've defended the show a little bit the last couple of weeks. I don't think this was like garbage or anything, but I do think it's the weakest one in a while.
I don't think it's like this is outright terrible.
Yeah.
In terms of a lot of my complaints have been about the characters, right?
Yeah.
This is just, it completely derails the pace of the season, and it's like, oh, let's do this for an episode. It's really bland.
Pacing's a bit off. Ultimately, all the stuff with Dick when he's like trapped in the chair and we're inside his head, kind of just wasn't doing it for me at all. It wasn't interesting. It wasn't entertaining. It wasn't even funny bad. It was just dull.
Was by the numbers.
Yeah, that stuff kind of sucked. There was some small moments to enjoy here or there, some small moments to really make fun of, but it may actually be my least favorite. I mean, I don't know. How much did I dislike the first one?
I got more enjoyment out of the first one.
Yeah, that's fair. It's kind of like episode 1 and 2 kind of levels of where I'm at with this one. Small things I kind of liked. I liked that Beast Boy kind of puts his foot in his mouth with Raven. And kind of because he says, "Oh, I'll know if you're being honest or it's really your mother because you can tell by the scent." And she's like, "Are you saying I smell?" And she looks really annoyed that he's implied that. And he's like, "A little bit." And he's just cracking a joke, and she gives him this eye-rolling look. It's like, and I'm like, everything he said to her up until now has been making her, be like, oh, Beast Boy, oh.
And this is completely in line with everything else that he said. It's not like this is all of a sudden out of character.
But I guess it's just learning that her mother's still alive and been held captive in a asylum somewhere. Put her in a bad mood.
There's a time and a place.
A time and a place, yes. Not that that ever stops Beast Boy. But yeah, so that's the thing. I did get enjoyment out of the opening scene where did we have a name for the dude, the egg cooking dude?
I don't know if we do.
I feel like we should. Dr. Adamson, aka the Messenger.
Adamson sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
The Messenger does not.
Yeah, well, I heard that yet. Well, maybe I'll be referred to that later. But he slits his own throat to prove that Raven can heal, and she does so. And it's it's this extreme thing where he just slits his own throat. Like, it's very violent. This violence didn't bother me though. Normally, I'm complaining that the other characters are being too violent. He's the villain. It made sense.
Yeah, no, this was fine.
This was fine, and Raven heals him. But I like it. I like that scene in and of itself, and then I liked it later on when he's got everyone else captive and he's trying to talk Raven into releasing Trigon.
She just goes, "I'll take it back."
Yeah. She goes all like shadow eyes, and she's like, "I take it back," and he's like, "Wait, what?" And his throat just opens up. The CG's pretty bad at first before it switches to real blood, but it was still a funny moment. I'll give it props for where for where it is.
On the other hand, violence that I didn't appreciate, the hallway scene.
Sure, yeah. It's not the worst we've seen Dick do, but yeah, it was violent.
It felt so over the top. And this was an episode that was supposed to be about Dick finding himself and accepting that, no, I'm not just angry little shit Robin anymore.
Yeah, it's like he's given up Robin. He's admitting to himself that he's not that anymore, but he's not actually fixed. He's not like found himself yet.
Yeah.
This is just him realizing he's not himself, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but then he goes and does it. It doesn't show this as a follow up, because this comes pretty quickly after he has that realization.
Yeah.
Doesn't sell me on a character that wants to change.
Because there's a couple of nice touches on their own. Like the moment he looks down the puddle and he sees the reflection of himself in the Robin suit. It's kind of cheesy, but
I'll let it slide.
The synth comes in and I'm like, all right, I kind of like this moment. Honestly, my biggest problem with the hallway fight's not even that it's too violent. It's that
awfully shot.
It's just like see when all these guards show up in armor, I was like, oh, we're gonna get a hallway fight with just Dick, and I was getting hyped for it for the 10 seconds before it started, and then it was just like really choppy and cutting around all over the place, and I thought it was just really badly shot. So
it's one of the worst fight sequences this show's had.
Yeah, because the fighting in this show's not been bad. There's actually been a couple of good fight scenes.
Yeah, I mean, if you take out feelings on the violence, the
Yeah.
actual
Choreography.
shooting of it and the
Yeah.
choreography has been fine to good.
It's just, yeah, it almost, and not every fight scene in a hallway has to be a winner, right? You know, a one-take thing, but it almost felt like it was setting up for it. The way it was sort of building up to it, it felt like it was going to be.
It's underwhelming that this is this is his big moment. This is him showing off just what he can do, right, against this group. And you don't really see any of it. You get like, oh, sure, I see all the bodies afterwards, but I don't know. It was really underwhelming.
Nah, that's a fair complaint. And the episode ends, of course, with his Robin suit burning. He's officially left it behind. That's it. It's gone. So I don't know when we have him decide to be Nightwing, but that is clearly what we're building to. Certainly, I think the moment will be. I don't know when it'll be. I think the moment will coincide with when they decide to be a team and go and save someone in some way. Where it's like, okay, we're going out, we all need like aliases and outfits or whatever. He's going to be like, this is the moment. I'm Nightwing.
Yeah, maybe.
That makes sense to me. I don't know, maybe it won't be, but that'd be my guess. I'll give you one on the kill counter for sure. Beast Boy does kill someone in this episode. He does react appropriately to it though. He's horrified at what he's just done.
Yeah.
Because basically, he was held in a cage and being zapped and whatnot. And it's after Raven, kills,
also, I'm counting on the kill counter.
Adamson.
Shadow self, but still counts.
Oh, I feel like Shadow Raven is kind of like a subcategory here. We have to kind of, there's an asterisk. You have to put an asterisk next to it.
No, that's fair. That's fair. It'll count as a Raven kill with an asterisk, but it's still one for the body count. Even if the guy did slit his own throat, she did heal him and then just undid it to be spiteful.
Well, her astral self did. Rachel did not make that choice.
Rachel did not. Raven did.
Yes, but eventually Raven will be Rachel. It's the whole thing. I'm just saying, but I'm giving you the Beast Boy. I'm giving you Beast Boy because he does maul someone as a tiger. He does it to save. It's a good moment because he turns into a tiger to save Rachel and her mum, and I was like, man, this feels really violent. He's a tiger just mauling this guy, and I appreciated it after that when he turns back into Beast Boy or into Gar. He's like sitting there and he's got blood. He's like a vampire. He's got blood like just coming down from his chin.
Yeah. And then he's like, I bit a dude. It's like, no shit.
And he's in like complete shock. So I appreciate how they handled him doing that. That he's not exactly pleased and like, oh, he's not being Jason Todd. I just killed a dude. Yeah.
We know that's the first time he's ever bit anyone.
Yeah, never mind kill someone.
Yeah.
But turn to a deer and like shove those antlers in there. Go on, ram them. Give them a good ramming, or be a ram.
Why not?
Why not? If you're going to ram someone, a ram's a good enough animal, isn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, and Raven finds her mum. He doesn't believe it's her at first. Presumably she's been mentally tortured for the last 15 years. Well, not 15.
You would think.
Raven's 13 or whatever. So
12.
12. Yeah. You know what I meant. It was.
I'll let it slide. Ballpark it, right?
Yeah. And then they find Corey, who, after being drained of her powers, because she's trying to like break out of her cell, they start to dissect. Like, let's cut off a finger and see what happens. Science.
Scientific curiosity at its finest.
Honestly, the episode picks up once everyone's escaping a little bit. It's there's just kind of a lull from when Raven and Beast Boy kind of run off, and then Dick and Corey get captured. It's there until they start escaping. There's this lull for about 20 minutes.
Is the majority of the episode, I'd say.
It feels that way. I'm sure if you actually time it, it's probably more like half. But like you got 5-10 minutes setting it up, and then you get the last 15-20 minutes. I'm sure if you actually clocked it, it probably wouldn't be more. But it feels like that because Act 2 always feels the biggest.
That's fair. It definitely felt like it really dragged.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. It was there's the stuff with young Dick, because the actor's terrible for a start. But,
oh god, it's so bad.
But him beating up old Dick with a bar, and I'm like, no, this should be Jason. This should be Jason who's getting beaten up with the bar. Come on now, don't ruin this. This is important.
Media has the media adaptations have a real problem with conflating Robins.
Well, they've got Raven's mum now. They all ride off. The place is burning behind them. I want to point out my biggest critique of this episode, though.
Oh, we haven't got your biggest critique yet?
No, we haven't. It's a stupid critique, but it's a critique that I feel very strongly about.
Do share.
So Raven at first sides with Dick and Corey about not going and trying to break in, without recon, without, because Dick doesn't say we're not going to go get your mother. Dick just says, no, we can't just rush in. We have to, recon, plan, strategize, that kind of thing. And Raven's,
what would Batman do?
And Raven's pissed about it. She's like being all teen angsty, and just wanting her way. And Beast Boy sides with them, and Raven's pissed about it. But then he comes into the next room and says, no, I just said that to make them think that nothing was going to happen because I'm used to dealing with adults. No, let's go. And he pulls out Starfire. He's basically stolen Starfire's phone, and he's like, let's do it in style, right? And I went, and I assumed he'd stolen Dick's phone and he was going to use it to unlock his fancy car or whatever. And then cuts to the next scene and they're in an Uber.
Since when did an Uber become style?
An Uber's pretty. This is not an insult to Uber or people who take an Uber. It's a very practical thing, but it's hardly the height of.
It's a very standard.
Yeah, I feel it's what most people who aren't rich would use. Therefore, it's not stylish.
Yeah.
And I include us in that. I'm not. This is in no way meant to be demeaning to anyone who uses an Uber.
Yeah, I mean, I've only used an Uber once. I just use, local taxi companies usually.
Yeah, as do I usually. But I mean, it's whatever. It doesn't really matter.
I'm not opposed to it.
But let's ride in style. Cut to an Uber, and I just love the idea that they're in the back of this car discussing this.
There's an Uber driver. It's just a random fella.
We never even see him. I don't think the camera ever even shows the driver.
It doesn't.
Which is
because they're both sat next to each other. You don't have to reverse shot.
Yeah. It's just funny. Yeah, what do you want from me? Cat, behave yourself. Anyway, so that was the bulk of Titans. There's a lot of mirror usage in this one with reflections. Obviously, we mentioned the Dick
moment.
Went
a bit overboard.
I thought the Dick one was fine. Raven at the start, she was in that sort of infinite mirrors because there's a mirror on each side of her.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I think with Raven, it overplayed it a bit. And we had it in the bathroom, in the shower with Adamson.
Mm.
It kept playing with the reflection there with that glass shower cubicle, and I don't know. It was just being too blatant, and was like, okay, I get it, reflections, but it just kept going on and on and on. I'm like, enough's enough.
I had to shut the door, catch used a water tray, and it was unpleasant.
That's like twice in 2 recordings.
I know, they keep picking the worst possible time to go for a shit. I mean, the smell goes away quite quickly because of the litter, but I mean, there's a good 2 or 3 minutes of just, like, if the door happens to be open.
This is why you don't have cats.
Heck nah.
I mean, it's one of many reasons.
No. Cats are fantastic, but they do have their drawbacks. As do all living creatures. You have many. So
it's true.
So yeah, so we got Mummy Raven, Angela Roth on board. So we'll see where that goes next episode. I felt like the villains in this one, there's like an evil doctor lady who's just like, science! We'll do it for science! It's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Not that interesting.
It was a really bland episode.
It was bad for the most part. It picked up a little bit at the end, but
yeah. We
We
get Donna Troy next, though.
We do get Donna Troy next episode, yeah. Obviously, we're recording this a day later than usual due to family engagements on Connor's side, and because of that, the new Titans is already actually out. But we'll get to it next week. It's just it happens if we get delayed a day. So there you go.
But Donna Troy's cool. We like Donna Troy.
I like Donna Troy.
Let's hope it's a non-bastardized version of Donna Troy.
She looks the part. She looks like what I'd think Donna Troy would look like.
No complaints on the casting.
Yeah. Not seen her act yet, admittedly. So maybe...
No, just on how she looks. Yeah. No complaints.
But nah, she's got the right look. So, but that is Titans. So definitely not far from its best. So I won't stick up for it as much this week because I feel like I have been sticking up for it the last couple.
Yeah.
But there you go. So moving on then to Supergirl, coming off a pretty rough episode last week. We have episode 7 of the season. It's called Rather the Fallen Angel. And this one deals with Manchester Black and Supergirl teaming up for some Sons of Liberty investigation stuff, and then we had a subplot with Lena and the random dude. Now, I think this episode overall is better than last week's. There's more things I like about it here or there.
It's better.
Look at the hesitation in the voice. However, I will say this: Lena's subplot in this episode is absolute garbage tier, and it's not so much that the concept is that bad. The actor they've got as this guest star in this one is atrocious, and he has so much like drama to do in this subplot that it just completely ruins the whole thing.
Yeah. It's a classic case of, oh, we've only got one episode and maybe 10 minutes of that episode, maybe 15, to get this whole point across. Let's really overdo it. It's like just.
Do you know the worst thing about it is that he dies at the end, right? Because the whole thing is that Lena is trying to treat him like a number so she won't feel guilty if something bad happens in the trials, because she's trying to cure cancer and everything else, and he's agreed
and give people powers.
Yes, and he's agreed to for money to be a test subject. But she doesn't want to get too attached and think of him as a person. But of course, over the episode, she does. And by the end, she actually wants to not do it. And he convinces her, no, let me try this, because this could be one thing I can achieve in my life. But well, more on that in a minute. But at the end of the episode, it cuts to like after she's injected him. And she's like, oh, test subject died. And, he had powers for like 10 minutes and then he just died. And my only reaction to that moment was, oh, God, yes. Because I was worried he was going to be a recurring character and we were going to see him again. So I was like, oh, thank God. Like, just, oh, thank you. Praise Bebo. Praise Bebo for killing this prick. Because everything, like his whole sob story about giving his brother a kidney, or his brother giving him a kidney. No, he gave the brother a kidney, and then his brother died because the kidney was dodgy. No,
the brother gave him a kidney. Because he said he wouldn't have given his brother one. He would have been too selfish.
That's right. And his brother died with only one kidney.
He had complications with the other kidney.
Yes. And like, first of all, that is so contrived and specific.
Yeah.
All to get the point across that this guy's a bit of an asshole. You can...
Do you know what the problem is? That's not the bit that he's an asshole for. Like, Lena goes to him, it's like, hey, he died on the table. A million things could have gone wrong. You didn't have any control over any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
She's right. He's not an asshole for going, hey, thanks for the kidney.
He's an asshole for many a reason. I think admitting that he wouldn't have done it for him makes him an asshole.
Yeah, okay, that does.
Yeah. But there's a lot of asshole-ish things, right? But the whole point is that he's an asshole, and he agrees to do this ultimately in the end because this is one way that he can contribute in some way. He can maybe like help with this, and that'll maybe redeem him for his sins.
For science.
And that's fine as an idea. There's nothing wrong with that conceptually. I think you have to be more subtle about it. I think you have to give me a character who is a bit of a dick, but just sell me on it in a really simple way. They go so much with the melodrama, and they have him crying about his brother and like yelling about it and how he's an awful person because of this and this and this. And all I can think is how awful the actor is. That's all I could think during the scene. It was horrendous. Yeah. He is horrendous.
Yeah, he is.
If I had the power, I would blacklist him right now.
What do you mean, if? This guy's never working.
We've put a call in.
The right people will see this.
Yes. So that kind of stuff. I have no problem with the plot here. What do we think? I mean, is Lena going to like make Doomsday or something? What's happening here? Where's this going?
It's a good question.
Because she's going to end up making a supervillain, right? Like that's where this is going.
Oh yeah. Right. I feel like she ends up giving herself powers because she feels too guilty. She can't bear the thought of testing on anyone else and killing anyone else.
Well, Lena Luthor is Ultra Woman. That's a thing from the comics.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking is like she's like no, only I'll have to test on myself because she's still not entirely evil. Right?
No, but this would make her go evil. The power. And it'll be like almost like a Doc Ock thing where it consumes her, but then she'll have like moments of humanity that will maybe save the day at the end, kind of thing.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we get Ultra Woman Lena.
I could be into it.
I mean, I could be. Just, do we really need another villain this season?
Not this season. No, that's fair.
But we're setting this up so early in this season that I don't know.
If the Liberty stuff's done by the time that we properly get everything else going, maybe.
I'm just thinking we still got Liberty, we still got Manchester Black, which kind of is tying into that stuff, but I feel like he's still gonna be his own thing at some point.
Manchester's an interesting one because he's kind of this weird third party. That I expect him never to be the main villain.
No, I expect a chunk of the seat, like at some point, to have to. Right, okay, now we have to deal with Manchester.
Yeah. Well, obviously we're about to get into him, but I'm just wondering.
But then we've still got Comrade Kara to come,
which I'm excited for. I'm still excited because it's Benoist being the villain, which means it'll easily be the best villain we've ever had. that's.
I mean, Whitworth could be rivaled.
Could be okay. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, Citizen Steel or not Citizen Steel, Commander, no. So, Child of Anarchy. What's his name? Soldier of Liberty.
Soldier of Liberty.
There you go.
Is that it?
Lockwood. We got Lockwood.
We got Lockwood.
Lowdown with Lockwood. That's a good name for a show. I'll give him that.
That is good.
So here's the thing I liked about this episode that I wish had more time. Is the idea of this island, this immigration center for aliens.
This is literally the first we've heard of this.
I agree. No, because see when Jimmy and that walk out and we get that like welcome video and it's like Supergirl going, "Hey, welcome to Earth," and you know,
Your
and she's
powers
smelling.
won't work here, but once you get to the mainland, you'll be back to normal.
I'm like, this island is fat. I wish we'd seen this like last season.
Why was this not a thing already? Like, oh man,
this is cool. I like this idea. I hope we come back here. I hope this is relevant.
It's already abandoned because it got shut down when the president.
Yeah. But yeah. I like the concept. I like the island.
I do as well. It's just a shame that it's like, well, could we not have? This would have had so much more weight. This being their base, and then perverting it into this. If we'd actually, heard of the place, we've not even seen a heard of it.
I like the existence of it though because we got to a point somewhere in season 2 where all of a sudden we had bars full of alien races. And I kind of like the idea that, okay, this helps explain how this happened over time, that there was actually immigration happening officially.
Well, yeah, because we know they were all given citizen status. Yeah. So if you're doing that, you have to have immigration.
So that's cool. I like that. I like Manchester Black. I like his charisma. I like him interacting with Supergirl.
He's still a very charming fella, isn't he?
Yeah. And he's got his armor. I don't know how he's got the tech to have the. So it's like Jimmy's gauntlet that turns into the shield. It just kind of.
Just does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked cool, but whatever. And I mostly like what he does in this episode. I think my main problem is that it's just a bit convoluted. His plan that tricks Supergirl into being given over.
Yeah, when it gets to the bit where it reveals it and it flashbacks to all these moments.
Because I thought at first that he made the call to turn her in after he'd already started working with her, but it set it up that even the first time they met, he'd set that up. He paid guys to pretend to be anarchy.
No, I was the same. Whatever. At first, I was like, he goes, "Oh, I saw an opportunity, so I took it." I'm like, all right, I believe that.
Sure,
that's fine. Like 2 days ago, he went, "Hey, Liberty, I got something for you."
Yeah, and it's all in the all just for getting to Liberty so he can shoot him. Like, that's the goal. Turns out he has like someone else in the mask, though it's not really him.
Right. But like that concept of, I don't know, he's betraying Supergirl because he thinks it'll get him to Liberty. I buy that from Manchester Black. That's very
fine,
in character. Yeah. It just, why was it so needlessly convoluted? Like,
yeah, and it was the moment he like asked to see the sun grenade for Kara's powers. I was like, okay, what's he up to?
That wasn't suspicious.
Yeah, that was like so blatant and obvious. But here's the thing. I have no problem necessarily with Supergirl being weakened for a bit and then being like trapped in the tower and like her trying to fly out but her powers aren't quite there. I have no problem with that on its own. I think the problem I have with this is more that I feel like she is weakened too often on this show. Like recently, there's been more and more occasions where they've hit her with something that's, she's taken out of commission, she's, and more and more it's feeling like somehow they turn her into the damsel, even though it's her show.
Do you know what it's feeling like? It's reminding me of
Smallville when there's kryptonite every episode.
No, not even that. Flash. When we had Barry and Wally,
and they kept taking Wally out somehow.
They kept taking Wally away, or they'd find an excuse because hang on, if we got 2 speedsters, this is easy.
Yeah.
And it feels like, well, if she's got her powers, this is easy. So just take them away.
Yeah. I have no problem with doing that every so often. I feel like it's been a while, and because one of my complaints last week is that I feel like she's more of a one of the supporting cast in a sea of supporting characters rather than being the lead of the show, which she should be because she's the best actress, she's the title character, and the show is better for it when it does focus on her and give her stuff to do.
Yeah, I mean it's something that obviously we're not the only people who say it, but Arrow, it became this ensemble over time, and it stopped being about the Green Arrow, and it kind of got shit when it did that.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't the only reason, but.
And I like a lot of the supporting cast on the show. I'm not really making digs at them, but it feels like, and it's fine to have episodes every so often that completely focus on someone else, right? That is great.
Yeah, but ultimately they should be supporting cast.
Yeah, but it feels like Supergirl is not necessarily the main driving force of the plot, and didn't really feel like it last season either. It felt like it was about Rain, it was about Sam. It wasn't really until the shoehorned Argo stuff where it got kind of personal.
Yeah, which doesn't really have any impact on anything anymore.
Yeah, so it's just I really wish it would let her be the star and make the plot really about her for a change, which is weird. I shouldn't have to say that when the show's about this character. That's the title of the show.
Yeah.
To compare it to the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer for a second, that is a fantastic supporting cast that all got the time in the spotlight, but it never once felt like it wasn't Buffy's show. Not once.
No, they all had episodes where you're right, this is Xander's episode.
Yeah, but see, when you watch Buffy, and I've been doing the commentaries for Patreon, is that every single character represents something that relates to Buffy's story, and everything feeds back into what the themes of her story are. It's genius. I mean, obviously Buffy's one of the best written shows of TV ever made, but it does. Xander represents her heart. Like Cordelia represents who she used to be, and there's all these things that because of how they're acting in any situation, it's about how Buffy's going through, and it makes it work. And Supergirl, and to be fair, all the CW shows, they're not that good. They don't have that kind of subtext.
Most shows don't.
But I don't know. But even then, just I don't know, take another character Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s a weird one to compare to because obviously it's a fantastic show, but it's not really that's meant to be an ensemble. That was never meant to be. This is just this one person show.
Yeah, it's losing the title, right? Agents.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. It's in the title.
You get what it says going in, whereas this, okay, I'm getting a Supergirl show. Whereas right now, I don't think I am.
Yeah, she's still the best part of the show, and she always has been. But
it doesn't. I don't think I'm getting a Supergirl show. I feel like I'm getting Agents of the DEO.
Kind of, yeah. That's what you should call it, yeah.
And the Martian Detective.
And the Martian Detective and Owen Guardian too.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yes. I'm going to say something that might be controversial, but Jimmy should have left the show when Lucy Lane did.
They haven't had a clue what to do with him since.
And it's not that he's not had a couple of good moments since then, but that is it. It's been a few good moments in 3 seasons.
Yep.
And I respect that they're actually trying to do something with, because last season they ignored him for stretches of time. It was
they just went, oh yeah, we're paying him. We should probably use him.
And I appreciate that they're actually trying to do something with him this season, but it feels like it's at the expense of Supergirl, bizarrely, and. He's
not interested enough to carry that.
And it's just, he's just not. I mean, he's got a couple of good speech moments here or there, but ultimately, it's just, it's too surface level.
Yeah.
And it's not working for me. And yeah, so and he agrees to blow up this monument, about alien peace. And don't get me wrong, I like the moment that Supergirl's just blasting her heat vision at the window until he notices the flashing, and then that's kind of. He's like, all right, okay, suit up time, fine. And I like Manchester Black's thing where he's like, you know what? Okay, I'm not getting my plan sorted. I might as well let Supergirl out now, and he, destroys the power dampeners that are.
Yeah, I do like Manchester Black's probably my favorite part of this episode. He's just so in it for himself. It's like, yeah, well, whatever works for me, I'll do.
Yeah, Jean tries to confront him after obviously all this is revealed, and then he goes and apologizes to Kara because at one point in the episode, Kara suspects that. Maybe the missing, liberties, like that was maybe him because she caught him with the brass knuckles, And Alex is like, oh, it could be brass knuckles. And then John's like, nah, I mean, he's broken, but, I don't think he would do that. And then by the end, John's like, you know what? My bad. And he cries in her arms. Which, fine. No complaints about John. But, Supergirl's in a weird place with this stuff. It was better than last week's, but maybe better than the last couple. But it does have some climbing to do.
I was... The first episode was fine. The season, I was like, okay, it's all right. 2 was pretty good. 3 was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, okay, maybe we're actually in for something good this season. And now I'm kind of just going, right, all right, I'm going through the motions.
Yeah, hopefully it steps up. We do have one more before the crossover, so this will be something of a mid-season finale next week.
It should be, yeah.
So we'll see what they do with it. I can see Comrade Zor-El showing up at the end of the next one.
Potentially, yeah.
And as much as we were kind of hoping some of this stuff would be dealt with before she shows up, it would be interesting maybe to see how Lockwood twists the fact that there's a Russian Supergirl into his...
Yeah, I can see them really using that. Like, oh no, look, she's not your protector. Look at her. Really pushes the aliens are awful angle. It's like, hang on, even Supergirl, because I assume at first that he could just go, no, look, that's Supergirl.
Yeah. I did like the moment actually when they caught his show, and he implied that Supergirl was the seed that would lead to the destruction of the human race. And Kara's like, what?
You say implied, more outright stated.
Okay, he stated such a thing. Yes, he stated such a thing. Brainy has a couple of moments. There's hardly any Alex in this episode.
None of the general.
Yeah, no general, no Nia. So
no.
I mean, to its credit, it focused on 2 plots for the most part.
It did.
Which I'll give it.
One of them was shite.
But it's just 3 plots technically. If we separate the Jimmy stuff, I mean, it merges eventually, but
that's true. If you do this Jimmy one as separate,
yeah,
2.5.
Yeah. So Supergirls and Manchester Blacks was definitely the best one, although even that had still had its caveats.
Yeah.
So
I feel really down, like, because we were such an advocate for this show early on.
Oh yeah,
when it was getting a lot of shit.
Season 1 is sadly still the best season, and I really want it to beat that, because it's not like season 1 because season 1 has shitty villains, right? It's not like season 1 is flawless.
No.
But I wanted to get back to that level. I really do. Focus on Kara, jettison Jimmy, and Lada's cool and all, but even she's maybe one too many.
Yeah, I like her a lot more than I do Jimmy.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I don't like the fact they're doing this bollocks with them together. I mean, I can see, all right, we could lose Jimmy here, potentially. Right, okay, so he's going down this path of, I'm going to pretend to be, their savior, their poster boy. So obviously, all right, well, we can't have you working here then.
Oh, maybe. What if they go super? What if Comrade Zor-El snaps his neck, or he visions him? What if it's this really disturbing, to set her up as this is how dangerous an evil Supergirl is?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Which would separate her from Rain, right? It would separate her and say, no, she will just walk in her room and kill one of her friends like it's nothing.
Yeah.
I say walk, she'll probably fly through a wall. But you know what I mean?
I see.
And it's not that I don't like Jimmy. It's just they've not had a good handle on him at all. He feels like Joey feels like he's this show's Laurel. Jimmy is the Laurel of Supergirl, and that he was kind of this added love interest at the start of the show. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that Laurel, who's supposed to be Diana Lance, shouldn't be the main love interest in the Green Arrow. She should be, but she wasn't handled that way. And I feel like Jimmy was kind of that in this show, and then once that went away, he's just kind of languished.
Do you know what the one positive I have right now then is?
What?
Based on that comparison.
He's dead this season.
Yeah, because that was it. Laurel only got the spotlight when she was about to die.
So we need Earth 4 evil Jimmy will show up in season 5.
Don't do that to me. I can't take that.
Oh dear. So yeah, mixed bag, unfortunately. All right, then we'll move on to Arrow, season 7, episode 7. It's called The Slabside Redemption.
It's a great title. Credit where it's due.
So this is going to be one of the weirdest Arrow reviews that we have ever done on this show.
Because we have more credit where it's due.
Because we're going to be positive about this episode of Arrow, and not even just a little bit positive. This is easily the best episode of Arrow in years. Like, it's not even.
No, the last few seasons there's been one good episode a year, right?
This is better than the last kind of good ones from the last two.
No,
seasons.
it is, because last year we had the Deathstroke one with that really good Wanna.
I don't know if I'd call that good overall. I had a couple of good moments.
Okay, but it had enough good that it was elevated above everything else in Arrow, it was watchable. Notably, also a very focused episode where every supporting cast was dropped and it was just Oliver and Slade. And the year before had
the flashback episode where Prometheus was making him retrace his steps in one of his old cases. Yeah. Season 4 had nothing. It was complete garbage from start to finish.
Yeah.
Season 3 was rough. But this... I mean, hell, this may even be better than anything in Season 1 and 2. I can't remember Season 1 and 2 well enough to really make a definitive statement.
But that's fair. This is up there.
Because if you're not aware of this, we watch Arrow together, right? And Connor drinks because we assume it's going to be terrible.
I drink heavily,
and we make fun of it. And there was this weird thing in this episode where it starts off with Oliver and he's getting released in like 6 hours, but Diaz shows up at the prison, and like after about like 5-10 minutes, it's like we've not cut away to any characters yet. We've not cut away to Diggle, to Terrific, to Felicity, to Renee, to Dinah. No one. And I'm like, oh, we're just going to stay with him the whole episode. Okay, I like that. And then he breaks out of his cell and he's like doing all these harsh things because Diaz is there and this is serious and the guards won't listen to him. And it escalates to the point where we're in a kind of a Die-Hard situation where Diaz is like, got a lot of prisoners out of their cells and they're on his side, and it keeps going from there. And then there's some genuinely good fight sequences. And there was a moment about it was the oneer. There's a one take fight scene. Yeah, it's after Turner's teamed up with him, because there's a scene earlier on where he goes to visit Turner to apologize for getting him locked up because remember Arthur killed that guy.
Arthur.
Stanley,
yeah.
Why did I think
Stanley
it was Arthur?
the sidekick.
Where did I get Arthur from?
I don't know.
Stanley. But the point is so I was probably already toying with the idea in my head that this was an okay episode because it was just better than normal, and and I think the two reasons why it's better than normal, outside of what I'm about to say, is that one, it's a focused, simple action plot. It's a Die Hard-esque episode, very focused, very simple. And it has good action, right? Which is where the winner comes in a second. And then the other one is that there's zero supporting cast of the regular group. There's no obviously you see Felicity and Diggle for a second at the end, but there's no Felicity, there's no Diggle, there's no Terrific, there's no Dinah, there's no Renee. And I like Renee and I like Dinah to a point.
They're the best parts of the supporting cast.
And Terrific can be funny here or there. I'll say it. Diggle's been dead weight for years. Felicity is not even dead weight. She actively ruins things.
Yeah, Diggle is just kind of there, but it doesn't have a negative impact.
He has boring plots, like side plots that take up time that are usually just dull.
Yeah, but as part of the team.
Sure, yeah. Fun. Felicity actively gets in the way and ruins things, and hogs plot time and whatever else.
It's actually really funny that this comes, after that discussion we just had on Supergirl, talking about how it feels like she's not really a lead anymore.
Yeah, and it's funny that this episode, you take away all the supporting cast and you make... Obviously, he's got Turner in the prison, he's got some villains, but it's just about him and dealing with this crisis on his own and him having to think his way out of it. And the one ally that he does get in Turner is kind of where the Slabside redemption comes in. He's kind of the Morgan Freeman of the episode, where he's the prisoner who does get kind of redeemed, and it's obviously it's very condensed. It's more of an action movie style where he just helps him fight. But that's kind of where the cleverness of that title comes in, because it's stupid but it's clever at the same time.
That is a Legends level of titling.
It is actually.
I'm not a problem with that title.
And Joe, it's funny, this felt like a finale. I feel like the next episode, which is kind of the mid-season finale before the crossover, is going to be an epilogue.
Start.
Yeah, it's going to be this epilogue of, okay, what's Oliver doing now that he's out in the real world? Can he be Green Arrow? Because I imagine now he's like, wait, there's been another Green Arrow running around? I would like to look into this.
I know I saw in an interview they mentioned that he's kind of going to get back to all right. So season 1 and 2 where his family are all rich, and he dressed. He was supposed to dress a certain way. He didn't really care because Ireland. He's got used to not having that. But apparently he goes the idea that hey, maybe he can use that persona, actually be that sort of person again, and use that. So we're gonna get maybe some suave Oliver.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
interesting. But yes, it was good. So yeah, the moment where we actually looked at each other and said, "Is this a good episode of Arrow?" was during the winner, because Turner shows up and helps him against Vinnie Jones and Cody Rhodes. They're going to fight him, and they're on Diaz's side at this point. And we also had a funny joke in this scene because we both laughed when Vinnie Jones, because Oliver shouts him like, "Oh, Diaz is going to kill every one of us," and Vinnie Jones says, "I don't know, we just met him and he seemed like a very lovely chap."
Reasonable fella, I think was the phrase.
Reasonable. It was chap. It was definitely chap. It was reasonable chap. Because it was the chap that really made me laugh. Because it was so light-hearted and casual, like it was just someone you'd met at like a work conference.
Yeah.
Oh, he seemed like a lovely chap. I love the idea that Vinnie Jones, or his character at least. I expect Vinnie Jones himself to be a bit of a nut job, to be honest, but
I don't think there's much character going on.
He's just playing Vinnie Jones.
He is.
But yeah,
which is enjoyable in itself. To be fair, he's not really been a problem, has he?
No, he's been one of the best parts about the prison stuff. He's been quite funny, honestly.
Yeah.
But he Turner shows up and helps him, and it's the idea that Turner has changed, because Turner even argues with Oliver early on. He's like, "Hey, I'm just a criminal now, so you don't even think about the fact that it's this idea that Oliver doesn't assume that people can actually be rehabilitated, can be redeemed.
Yeah, that there is no redemption. It's just imprisonment."
And he's like, "No, maybe I believe you can." And Turner shows up and helps him, and they become a buddy cop duo for this episode, running around Die Hard style. And there's a scene with a great winner where they see like the guards, not the main one who got obviously fired earlier, but the one who's been kind of main since then, is getting beat up with this other guard up like on the third level of the cell block, and it's this winner there where Turner goes up like one flight of stairs and Oliver goes up to the next one up, and the camera is going up and down between them as they're going around the sort of the U-turn at the end.
Slick.
It's very slick, and it was as it was going up the stairs and we realised, because once it passed between them like once and it went back down to Turner, I was like, "Oh, this is all going to be a winner." And I think that was the moment where we went, "Is this a good episode of Arrow? What's happening?"
That is the exact moment. I was like, "What's going on?" Because it's been so long. I don't remember what this feels like to be positive like this, like genuinely positive.
I'm like, this is good. And Joe, the fifth is even the awfulness of Diaz couldn't ruin it. Like, this was an episode where his stupid, cheesy villain kind of worked. Not completely. He's still kind of awful, but like, I was looking, because I at one point I actually said, I think he's going to die at the end of this episode. It felt like it was the climax to his story.
No, there was a few points where they teased it, right? They went, "Oh, is this going to happen?" And then they went the route of not doing, but he chose not to kill him.
Because and again, which is good. Hopefully, we're finally on Oliver choosing not to kill people, and just we can stick with that.
And I think it works here as well, in the sense that he's just seen Turner be like, "Hang on, prison can work. It can rehabilitate, and so why not try it?" I mean, it's not going to work on Diaz, but why not?
All 6 months of it.
Yeah.
But no, it kind of worked. And he leaves him in the cell. And I remembered before the final fight where Oliver eventually shanks him a little bit. Shanks him a little bit. I just like that phrase. I actually remembered, wait a minute, no, he was with a series regular for the season, so he ain't dying, but he seems to be locked up. I can see him getting out by the end of the season and teaming up with whoever the main villain is. But
it feels like, for the most part, he's dealt with. Plot done.
Yeah, I think there'll be maybe a plot about him getting out later for an episode or two, but it won't be like a long ongoing thing again.
But as far as I'm concerned right now, Diaz down.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll see him in prison though, every so often. Maybe frequently. Because he is a regular for season 7, and I feel like...
Yeah, unless they really just wanted to do that to sell it.
Maybe it was a tactic, a diversion
expensive
tactic.
Choice, though, right?
Oh, yeah, we're going to pay you for 23 episodes, but...
Yeah.
You're only in the first 7 or 8, yeah. But... No, I mean it worked fairly well, and Oliver walks out at the end. The worst part of the episode is him seeing Felicity and Diggle, and I'm like, oh god, get them away.
Yeah.
These two have long worn out their welcome.
Joe, I'm looking forward to next week though. I'm gonna get my hoss.
Oh yeah. Renee's going to be in there, and Joe, the fact is we've been so positive about the main focus of this episode that there's actually a subplot that's also good in this episode.
Good for 2 reasons.
Stanley.
Yeah.
My man Stanley is a complete raving psychopath.
Hell yeah, he is.
Oliver, turns him away, doesn't want to help him, and then during the whole Die Hard crisis, Oliver goes to the storage closet to get some supplies for their onslaught with Diaz and Vinnie Jones and whoever, and he walks in the room and Stanley just, first of all, this is great when you're watching this with Connor because Connor hates needles, but he just jabs him in the back of the ankle with a needle, and
out of nowhere. And
Oliver goes down. He was lying in wait like a snake.
Snake, yeah. Yes. Snake's a good one.
Yeah, snake. And then Oliver's just kind of like just sitting there. He's conscious, but he can't really move because of the drug, sedative, I assume. And
would make sense, some sort of trank.
Yeah, and which makes sense to have that in a prison, to be honest. It does. It's quite logical that they'd have that kicking around. And Stanley basically just starts rambling how it's not his fault, how he has to forgive him, and even he deserves a second chance. And he's like, oh, he was messing with the weights, with the dumbbells. He had it coming, and then he just drops the sentence casually. All of them had it coming.
Stanley the sidekick is a sociopathic serial killer.
I love it.
That was a lot of S's.
Stanley's great. And
also,
Oliver just
you're overlooking the best part of Stanley.
Yes.
They're recycling the Prometheus theme for him.
Oh, that's right. It doesn't keep going like it does with Prometheus, but you just hear it like once. It's like, in Prometheus, it would keep just doing that descending thing.
Yeah, the descending harmonic scale. Yeah.
This is just like, it'll just do the first note of each one kind of thing.
But it's enough. I'm going to take what I can get until he goes full-fledged psycho serial killer out in the wild, and we can have it return in full glory.
And then, so here's the thing. Oliver kicks him in the leg, which knocks him down, and then just kicks him in the face to knock him out, which was funny in and of itself.
It's gloriously brutal.
But the best part about this is that where this ends with them implies that we're getting Stanley in the real world. And Stanley, it's not like Oliver Queen being Green Arrow is a lie, or a secret now, right? He knows where to find him. And Stanley...
He knows who to go shanking.
Stanley's escaping through the morgue, and he runs into Vinnie Jones, and Vinnie Jones kind of like, oh, he's just that idiot little Stanley. Vinnie Jones gets killed. Well, we're not sure he's dead. He could be alive. He'll get stabbed in the side. He could be alive. But if this is the end of Vinnie Jones's character, that this little serial killer Stanley took him out.
It's amazing. This is like, how I got really into Prometheus as a shitty, fun villain.
Stanley's better than Prometheus.
He might be, but he's on a similar sort of level where it's like, no, just screw it, just have fun with it.
Stanley's the best. I can't believe how positive I've been about an episode of Arrow, but it was actually really good.
Was.
The worst part about it, though, is that we know that next week we have to return to everyone being around.
But I genuinely feel a little bit guilty this week. That Arrow's not the worst by a long shot.
No, it's not even the second worst. We'll get to that at the end. But
I mean, we've already spoke about 2 shows that are worse than this.
We have, yeah. This is the best one so far. I hate to say it. I do. I genuinely hate to say it, but it is.
It is, yeah.
I mean, so I don't.
I feel like this still isn't real. I drunk imagined the whole episode, and then you've just confirmed it.
So not only was the winner great, of course, and like them working together, but the moment later on where they have the little thing where he drops the sack with the cans of soda in them, and he starts whacking people with that, which is a fun weapon, sure. Yeah. The moment that was also really fun is when Oliver ascends to the upper level because Turner puts like a noose around Vinnie Jones and pushes him off the ledge, and like Oliver like rises. It's like a counterweight.
Yeah.
But it's like a man with a noose around his neck.
It's so cool.
I mean, he's going down, so he's not dying, but it's still pretty vicious.
Still great.
Yeah. The point is I'm sure it still hurt like a bitch.
I hope so.
Yeah. But honestly, outside of my jokes about the worst part being that we have to dread next week, is that the worst part is Diaz himself. Like, Diaz himself is the worst part.
It is, but he's more tolerable than usual.
Mainly because just the shitty action, but simple and enjoyable, but shitty action movie plot kind of works for his character for the most part.
Yeah. None of this convoluted bollocks that, the whole secret organization.
Oh god, yeah, I hated all that.
I can't remember their name. Something to do with the triangle.
The square? The union? The cabal?
I actually have no idea.
I have no idea what they were called either. Remember how everyone seemed to know what this secret organization was, even though we'd never heard of them before?
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, that was the thing. So, credit where credit is due. Arrow had a very good episode. Like, not even just a slightly okay episode. This was
not even just by Arrow standards.
No. This was legitimately a good episode of a CW superhero show. Like,
yeah, this was a good hour of TV.
Bordering on great.
Yeah.
Not quite, but bordering.
Bordering.
It was good. So anyone who complains that we don't give Arrow credit when credit is due, I will redirect you to the Slabside Redemption.
Yeah.
Hey.
Mark this in your calendars, because this is it until the end of the show now.
If the show keeps this up though somehow by some miracle, then the name the Slabside Redemption has even better meaning behind it, because the show itself is redeemed.
I wish that showrunners could see the feedback to this episode and go, that worked.
Do you know the funny thing about it is though? Is that before we watched it, I saw someone on Twitter complain. It was very vague, but it was like, "Oh god, this Arrow episode." I'm like, "Oh no, it's gonna be a terrible episode."
We're in for a chore, because we always just assume that. Anyway.
Yeah, but then we watched it, and I was like, "But no."
What was that person smoking?
This was fantastic. This was so sharp. This is the best episode in years, maybe ever.
I like how you 2 minutes ago you went, "It's good, borderline great," and now you just throw, "It's fantastic."
Well, no, that was in general. It's fantastic by Arrow standards.
By Arrow standards.
By Arrow standards, this was a 10.
Oh god, yeah.
All right, let's move on. Arrow had a good episode. Steven Amell, when he's just been an action tier. Oh, by the way, I hope he keeps the beard. Keep the beard, man.
It's a good look, isn't it?
It's better for him. Looks good.
He's because you're right though. Him doing his thing, he can be a good actor.
Did he have a beard in the Elseworlds teaser? I can't remember.
I don't remember at all.
Oh, that'll confirm if he's keeping it. At least until that episode.
I am going to look.
No, he doesn't. No, because in the flash shoot, he doesn't have it.
He's just down to the stubble.
Again, that's what he always.
God damn it!
Should have kept it.
Because that was one of the first things I said in this episode when we were. I remember now. It's coming back to me. He's in his cell, and I went, "Yeah, one thing about this."
Don't get me wrong. I admit that the beard would look kind of silly in the Flash outfit.
All the more reason. He looks silly in the Flash outfit.
Honestly, outside of the fact that he doesn't have a runner's body, he kind of looks more like comic book accurate Barry than Barry does. The head shape, I mean. His jawline in that head cowl looks more accurate to the comic.
Which is why, no offense, but the chin strap worked better.
I don't want a chin strap, I just need a neck bit.
A neck bit would do it, but for right now versus the versions that we've had, the chin strap worked better for him because it kind of hid some of that.
Just needs to go a bit here. It doesn't have to go up to the chin. Oh, you can't
yeah.
It's fine. Not up here. I don't like the chin thing because the chin thing was something the New 52 added, and I hated it.
I don't need a chin thing. I just need something to give his face some definition, and that did that.
All right, Legends of Tomorrow, season 4, episode 6. It's called "Tender Is the Nate."
From one great show to another.
Don't say that. I'm not ready to accept that. So this episode, Nate's dad, whose name I should probably remember at this point.
Hank.
He's been around. Hank, there you go. He is upset that the Legends cost so much money to keep the ship stocked and
Even though, I mean, I guess raw materials, because I thought Gideon just generated everything.
Time core and stuff, yeah. Yeah, I thought Gideon generated the clothes, but they mentioned a clothes budget.
I'm assuming
it
they
takes
still
material.
have to feed him
Yeah,
raw
okay,
materials.
I get it. Yeah, they have to feed it like carbon so it can make things.
Yeah.
Here's some carbon.
Yeah, just a shitload. Enough that it costs millions.
Just get a lot of pencils. It's fine. What they need is Mr. Fusion from Back to the Future, just to just transmute. Firestorm would be handy.
That would be handy. That's why the budget has skyrocketed.
Yeah, because he left. Yeah,
we lost him.
Yeah, that's right. That makes sense. Where was I? Yes. So Nate decides, oh, how about this? How about we go for a ride along? I'll go back in the ship with you. It'll be a whole thing, and that's kind of sets up the premise. We go to the 20s and the Roaring 20s in France and Paris specifically. Meet Hemingway, and who's the artist? The impressionist.
Oh, blank on the name.
Can't remember. Anyway, but they go there, and that's the whole thing. Before we get to that, though, can we talk about Ava's sexy present dance thing?
Yes, we can.
Which is where the moment where the episode kind of won me over immediately, just because it was hilarious. Ava reacting to Sarah, like so,
as everyone else should.
The way she was reacting though, where she was like, "I don't really like my birthday, but oh god," like it was that kind of like
don't stop,
shock and awe. But here's my favorite part about it though: is Hank walks in the room, and Ava disappears, and Sarah disappears, and Ava sort of sits up like, "Oh god," and I thought it wasn't real. I thought she dreamed it, which made it funnier to me. I thought it was funnier because it was a dream. And then 2 seconds later, a shoe drops from the ceiling, and I went, "No, it is real!" And she's ninjaing around the room.
Sarah's just behind, just leaping across the screen.
And then we get to the police academy bit where she's under the desk stroking her leg.
Yeah.
And Ava's just trying to act cool as Hank's
Sarah's grin. She's like, "Oh, I'm having fun with this."
It was delightful, and then it's like, oh, you have to rush back to the ship because Hank's going to go and it's like, no, we have to clean up because she phones like Zari or whoever, and she's like, no, we're not ready for that. We have to like clean things and do things
and hide Charlie
which was part of the fun as well, as everyone trying to keep Nate away from Charlie, and then Nate getting in and like try to like, hug her, and then Charlie just being like, punch him in the face, which actually
piss off wanker.
One of my favourite moments of this one might be when Hank says, "You just got cold cocked by a girl," and Sarah just kind of steps in and goes, "Have you ever been hit with a girl with a smirk in her face?" And he's like, "No." And
it's like you could just see it.
Yeah, it's like she doesn't actually say it, but the threat is in her eyes. Like she's ready to punch him.
You see him eye her up and go, maybe a bad choice of words.
Yeah, maybe I'll back off here. Maybe this is not the wisest career move. So, that stuff's all fun, and it's Ava's birthday, which ties into the subplot. Now, I'm going to say this. I actually like the subplot in this more than the main plot.
In terms of the plot, sure.
I had more fun with it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Fair enough. I had a lot of fun with the main with Nate reuniting with the gang.
Oh yeah, that was good. When the mythology burn and moments like that. I liked when because it's a minotaur. It turns out there's a minotaur in the catacombs of Paris, and they're looking for the beast. And basically Nate comes up with this plan to lull him to music with a lute, and he says lute, and Mick just wakes up and goes, "Lute! Someone said lute!" Also,
they play D&D without him.
Yes, and he's very upset. And he's like, "Wait, do you have a pizza party at the end of every mission now as well?"
Yeah,
he's really upset.
But let me like loot, and he's like, "Oh, this is," and it's like, "I don't look like loot."
It's a tiny guitar. What are you doing?
Yeah.
That was funny. And I love that. Of course, they have the pizza part at the end. And do you know what? I really settled on with this episode with Nate staying back at the bureau. It's not that he can never come on the ship again for adventures every now and again, because obviously he can. This episode's part of that, but. To me, it's the show saying, no, the Time Bureau is going to be an equal part of the show now. And that's why we not only have Nate, but we have Ava, we have Gary, and now we have Mona. And even Nora, who's locked up. We have like a whole cast of characters now who we can cut to for a side plot.
Yeah, I'm okay with this, because I don't want to lose Nate.
Yeah.
And we're not losing Nate.
I like all those characters. I mean, all 5 of those. I like all of them now.
I went through an up and down with Mona in this episode.
I like Mona.
No, by the end, I'm in. But there was a point where I'm like, is she just annoying me?
Nah, I think she works. I think she works. She's Lady Gary, and I think that works.
She is. But there was just a little brief bit in the middle where I went, is she just annoying? And then I came around like, no, she's great.
So here's the thing: half the team stay back in the ship, and there's all that stuff where Hank's like, "Oh, you need 6 people to do this," and it's like 7, no, 8, including blah blah. All right, including Gideon.
Gideon's got a makeover.
Yeah, so she's got a whole head now that she pops up with and talks to them, which is all fine. But so half of them stay back, and it's kind of the delinquents, right? It's like Constantine, it's this Mick, and poor Zari. Why is she lumped in with it?
Because she just does whatever the hell she wants.
She does, but she's way more sensible than those two.
She is, but
or
someone's got to look after them.
Maybe sensible's not the right word, but she's way more presentable than those two.
Yeah, I guess they can't be trusted on their own.
Yes. So Ray's also staying back, so he decides to try and sneak in to see Nora, and Mona smelling a love story in the making.
Her generation's Ross and Rachel.
Yeah, I love when Nora rolled her eyes at that, because it was kind of like a mix of things, because on the one hand, she's like 10 right now, so Friends to her is like something that was on when she was a baby.
Yeah.
So I like that added element of that joke. But she says she'll sneak in a letter for him, and obviously the joke at the end is that Ray just shrunk down and went into the envelope. But because of when she passes the envelope over to Nora, security stuff happens, Ava comes running in, they all get locked in, and they have to kind of put up with each other. And Ava's mad at Mona. Nora doesn't want to be friendly with her, even though, because Mona's whole thing is that all the other mythical beings, the animals, they are just animals essentially in a zoo, so they should have some comforts to keep them calm, right? She's like, no, the Neanderthal should have some plants and stuff to make him feel at home. And Ava's like, no, it's a prison. Yeah. What's that?
Give the Neanderthal a little garden.
There you go. And I like the idea of Mona going down the hall with her food trolley, saying like, "Hey, Baba Yaga, hey, whatever the whole thing was."
A Chupi. She had a nickname for the Chupacabra.
Oh, so there you go. My favourite line of this episode comes from Nora.
Go on.
My favourite moment. So Mona keeps trying to get them to open up. It's this, that. We should learn about each other. We should at least do that. And then she has the cake that the deliverer guy dropped when she bumped into Sarah earlier on, and she's like, "Oh, we could celebrate your birthday." And she starts singing "Happy Birthday" and like walking slowly towards Ava with a cake. And Ava gets this like look of rage on her face, and she's walking towards her. And Mona like sort of quietens down mid-song and goes, "Oh, this is making things worse, isn't it?" And it just cuts to Nora, and she goes, "No, this is fantastic. Keep going." That line broke me.
Yeah. Nora is us.
No, it was gold. It wasn't even just the line; it was the look in her face before it cut to like a close-up of her.
That glee of she was like, "Oh, this is so awkward. I love it."
Yeah, it was gold. And then they all bond a little bit. Sarah's like, "You're actually not so bad after all."
I mean, you give them the wine, and problem solved.
They all bond because she's a clone, and then Nora's like, "Yeah, I had an awful father who may turn me into like a demon hostess person." And Mona's like, "My parents want me to go to Yale," which I did get accepted into, but I don't want to.
And Ava's like, wait. Yale is your backup? What the hell are you doing here?
And Nora's like, no, don't listen to your parents. Look where mine got me. Do your own thing.
Yeah.
So
I like how Mona comes back in later because I told my parents I don't want to go to Yale and all this other stuff too. That wine really went to my head.
I don't know, the glee from Nora, because she hated Nora, because she was reading the book she gave her, but she was
that was one of the bits where I decided I didn't like Mona when she comes in and just spoils the end. She's like, "Oh, have you got to this bit yet?"
Sure.
It's like, well, no.
She's enthusiastic. She's hyper. She's excited.
Yeah, but I don't. Unacceptable.
I know. I don't like it either, but it is what it is. Was that a real book? Was that a real ending she spoiled?
I don't know. I hope not, for anyone's sake. But Gary would never do such a thing.
Nah, he'd just come in and say, "Hey, do you want to see where my nipple used to be?"
He would.
No notable absence of Gary. Gary's on suspension for all the shit he got up to last episode.
Yeah.
You had a delivery girl in here to impress her, and then all the monsters got out.
Oh, this is so Gary.
2 weeks unpaid vacation. Piss off, Gary. No, everything. This is the thing with Legends is that. I mean, I didn't mind the main plot. The Minotaur's cool. You know, Nate and Hank had some bond. You know, Hank sung a song.
I never care what the main plot
No,
is.
nor do I. And it's the characters, and for me, it was the characters in the side plot that were really like firing on all cylinders. Not to say that the main plot didn't have some great moments, because you had Charlie and Nate kind of back and forth a little bit when she ran into him. That was good. Anything
Hank
where he was
gushing over Hemingway, or as he calls him, Papa.
Papa, yes. Yeah, because calling a famous person Papa isn't creepy at all. Come on, damn it.
Yeah. I do like how everyone else was like, what? And Nate's like, just get with it.
In fact, I believe the exact reaction from Mick was, I thought he blew up in space. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Mick.
Got real tact there.
Oh dear. So there was fun stuff to be had there, but yeah, but no, this is good. I think one of the interesting things about this one, comparing it to the other shows where we complained that the main characters kind of take a back seat, is that this one is always meant to be an ensemble. So, but I also think bizarrely it does have one of the best casts, or not even necessarily in terms of acting. Oh, the actors are good, but just in terms of characters, it has the best ensemble of characters.
Yeah, I don't think it has any of those standout. I mean, they're all pretty good actors, right?
Yeah.
But Benoist is head and shoulders above all of them.
Yeah, I'd say Benoist is a better actor than anyone in this show.
Yeah, and that's not to put anyone on this show down. They're all, at the worst, they're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have the best characters.
Yeah.
And they have the best, most consistent writing.
It's because this is the one that gave up the bullshit drama. This is the one that said, no, we don't want to do that melodrama. There's a little drama here and there to make the plots move forward, but they gave up trying to really make us care about it. They said, no, it's not working, let's just have fun.
Yeah, and you care about it actually, like Ray and Nora.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, right? Like, yeah, this is nice.
It's actually kind of sweet, her kind of falling for him, even though she's an evil bitch monster of death.
Yes.
It's like the charm of Ray and his Boy Scoutness fought through that and broke her down, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. And it's like, but they're not making a huge deal out of pushing. It's like, you really need to care about this or I'll shoot the puppy.
Yeah, it's played for jokes. It's Mona caring about it, and it's like, because she cares about it, you're like, okay, alright, that kind of works.
Yeah. Like you say, they're the show that went, screw it, we don't need a good plot. we don't need bullshit drama. We just need a cast that can bounce off each other and have fun.
Yeah,
that will be enough.
We have silly premises every episode that often will harken back to a movie or something, and that'll do. That'll work.
And it does.
Yeah. So, yeah. Legends keeps winning. Not surprised.
Yeah, I saw one of the showrunners or the producers or someone mention that the next two are kind of a double part.
Oh. Well, that's the last two of the mid-season, so...
Yeah. I know the last one is alternate reality stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, my God. I hope we get Boy Scout Mick. I really hope we get a Boy Scout Mick.
I think we're getting Gideon with a body again.
Okay, all right.
And a bunch of other stuff. Apparently, it's going to be some out there stuff.
Okay.
So I'm down.
Interesting. Moving on then, as quickly as possible, to The Flash. Give him a pun every so often, it's fine.
I'm not tolerating this shit.
It's season 5, episode 7. It's called "O Come All Ye Thankful," which is a Thanksgiving episode, and it's bizarre because I assumed that their week break was planned all along because they knew the election was coming up. So this in Black Lightning started a week early because they knew you'd have a week off. But this episode implies that they thought this was going to air on the week of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they misjudged this one a little.
Bizarre. Not that I really care, but just worth mentioning. So I have kind of similar feelings to an extent as I did with Supergirl, in that I think it's a bit better than last week's.
Yeah,
it is for sure.
Yeah.
There's some laughably bad flashbacks. We'll get to them in depth in a minute, and there's some of that drama stuff that's not working super well. There's a couple of fun moments. There's one laugh out loud funny moment which we'll get to, and surprisingly most of the Thanksgiving stuff is generally pretty amusing.
It is, yeah.
So it's kind of hit and miss. We have Weather Wizard's daughter shows up, the Weather Witch, and I did actually like that line where Cisco, like Caitlin says it because she sees it on the girl's van, and he's like, "I'll allow it." I was like, okay, that's amusing. My problem with this though is because I assumed, alright, so his daughter's got the powers as well, no big deal. Even though it never occurred to me in my head that she's obviously was born way before he got his powers. I never thought of that. But it was when they revealed that it was a tech from the satellite that gave her these powers, and I went, what? His daughter just happened to get very similar powers to him by a completely different circumstance?
Yeah. See, I would buy, you're saying, oh yeah, even though she was born way before, he got his powers, I would buy that it affected them in a similar enough way because genetically they are so similar, right? But this is, no, she happened to be holding a weather vane.
Yes, years later.
So weather.
I appreciated Cisco calling her Helen Hunt at one point, though. That was a fun reference.
Yeah.
So that was silly. That said, though, so they go and get our dad out of Iron Heights, and they have him captive, and they're going to use him as bait. And when they all show up, Flash is there, Noah's there, she uses her powers to drop a car on her dad. And this was actually really funny. Like, especially Barry's reaction to it. Everyone's reaction to her doing it was really funny.
I went, oh, shit. We didn't see that coming.
And it's funny, even the reveal that it wasn't actually him didn't even make the joke worse. It actually made it better, because when it cut to the lab and Iris takes off the VR headset and is just kind of like, I didn't see the car coming. It was actually really funny. So, so they're not complete idiots, right? That's good. It makes them look smart, because they knew she'd probably try something stupid. I mean, May didn't expect to kill him, but...
I mean, that's fair. You don't think, oh, she's all right. She wants to do this jailbreak so she can kill her dad.
Which is a nice way of separating it from the trickster stuff, where the dad, the son wants to break out the dad so they can team up. This was different. It was like, no, she wants to kill him. And that's fine, and they stop her at the end and whatever. So it's whatever.
Yada plot.
Yeah, I mean, okay. She tries to make a tornado of lightning, which I'll give them as a cool idea visually, at least.
Yeah.
A lightnado, if you will, thundernado. I don't know. Call it what you want. Tor lightning. No, I'll stop. But the dramatic plot here throughout this episode, because Iris and Nora are getting on quite well at the start. They're getting
a little bit too well. Getting
manicures, getting all these things. I'll put that old timey Insta thing you guys use. We'll put it up on there, the photo. All very amusing. So here's the thing. The episode early on, it kind of feels like, wait, is she going to be mad at Iris again for some other random reason? But to its credit, it did shift to a more specific thing that was more to do with Barry. It was more to do with this fear of him dying because he always puts himself in danger.
I was really confused because at first it was just like, why are you mad at him for saving people?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here?
Because it's after Iris tells her about these near-death things that happened. The Flash Museum kind of glossed over the danger of the situations. It was just...
And it really highlighted just how bad this show is at ending its seasons.
Oh, it really did. Because it's happened multiple times, and she's like...
oh yeah, that happened again. He went again for, like, we didn't know if he was coming back. I was like, yeah, no shit.
So I want to critique it in the sense that it's kind of the drama again feels very thin, and it was kind of tedious at points. But I also want to at least say, but it wasn't retreading the exact same. It felt like a different, unique, specific thing that she was. And I at least like that the lesson was learned by the end of the episode, and the dramatic point was made that she doesn't want to feel responsible that Barry hesitates to save someone because he's worried about what it'll mean to her. Yeah. So I like that part of it at the least.
You know what I have a concern is that I'm fixing some of it, because there's a bit where she's like, oh, I think you should stop being the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I'm going, oh, is this why she's back? That person who's manipulating her. Is it to stop stop the Flash from catching him in the future? Yeah. But then I don't know if I'm just overthinking it and trying to...
Yeah, because it feels spur of the moment because of the conversation with Iris, rather than the plan.
Someone else has planted that seed. Yeah.
If they reveal that later, then whatever. But I don't think so.
that's the thing, though, isn't it? The person who's behind it all, it's Iris from the future. So I'm not having Barry go missing. Oh God, I hope that's not true. I said that as a joke.
I want season 3's villains Barry from the future. Season 5 or villains Iris from the future.
I said that as a joke.
Don't put those ideas.
Actually worried.
Don't put those ideas in our heads. Come on now. Don't put these ideas in our heads.
It tells you the opinion we have of the show, though, that we're actually worried about that for a second.
It's a legitimate concern with this show, unfortunately. So yeah, I think there's some tedious elements early on when she's mad at her parents, she's been all mopey. But I like the final point that it made, so I'm going to give it some leeway in this case.
Yeah.
Because I was worried at first it was the same, just I'm mad at Iris again for no reason, but it was more specific. It was. So I'll take it. I'll take that she had to learn that lesson. As a hero of her in of herself, where she's going to have to make this choice as well.
Yeah.
It makes sense for her character to go through this lesson. So I'll give it the credit. The Thanksgiving stuff with, I mean, it's funny that Iris can't cook, and Barry. I mean, Barry's not even that much better because he's doing the, because it does that joke thing where you think they're operating on someone because they're talking about time of death and all that. And it just cuts to the pie, and his lattice is just terrible. I feel like that's the one part I don't really cook, but I feel like that's the one part I think I'd be quite confident in just putting it on properly at the end.
It's also the least important bit.
It is, but it's the actually making the inside taste good that I think I'll mess up. It's not the lattice at the top. It's just straight lines. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I'll make you a banana. That was still a really funny scene. I'm just thinking about that scene from a few episodes ago. Make it a sitcom. West Island sitcom's all I want. But yeah, I like that Killer Frost could just speak to Caitlin.
Yeah, just whatever. Forget about that thing where we need the device from last week. No,
they mention it. They bring it up. I don't know where Ralph was this episode, by the way. I missed him. But
with Thanksgiving somewhere else.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll be honest. Iris is like, to Norris, like, hey, the West Allens never miss a Thanksgiving. And I'm like, so where's Joe?
Well, they mentioned he's at Thanksgiving with Cecile's family.
Right, but it's like, yeah, okay, sure.
That's not missing Thanksgiving.
It's missing the family Thanksgiving.
Look, are you really going to give them shit because the actor's injured and they can't be?
No, I'm not.
It's a pretty good reason.
It is a pretty good reason, but I'm just saying.
I feel sorry for Cecile, the actress, because I feel like she'll have less to do while Joe can't be on the show just because she's kind of tied to him. So
no, she'll have more to do because she'll have to just stand in. Like that scene. Was it last week? The week before? No, not the one. I mean, with the stuff with Ralph as well. But when Nora went round and Cecile was telling her all the stories of Iris as a kid. It's like that should have been Joe telling those stories.
Oh, the infamous jumping off the rooftop episode. Yes, I remember that. Oh, no, that makes sense. It's kind of 50-50 because half the time the excuse for him not being there will tie her into it, like this one.
Yeah.
And then the other half she'll stand in.
Well, we'll just give her the stuff to do instead.
Yeah. So it's a mixed bag in that sense. But the Thanksgiving stuff is mostly just a comedy subplot.
Yeah.
Where Cisco and Caitlin are all excited about Thanksgiving. They invite Sherlock to go, and he's like, I don't get Thanksgiving, what's the point? And
it's like, what have you got to be thankful for?
Well, even before he gets to that, though, he's like, what's the point of Thanksgiving? And they're like, it's a holiday where you eat a lot of food, obscene amounts of food. And then he's like, so how's that different from any other day in America? And Cisco's like, fair point.
He's not wrong, is he?
But yeah, he makes them depressed and he makes them drink hard. Because, like, hey, Cisco, you get your ass kicked by this villain, your powers get taken away, you get your heart broken.
And
Caitlin,
now you have to pretend to be dead.
Yeah, your dad showed up and he's possessed by an evil icicle monster, and so on and so forth. And I've had, 7 failed marriages. Only 5 wives, but 7 failed marriages. So they're all just getting drunk. And then, who is it that walks in and, like, fixes it? Who is it?
Killer Frost.
Oh, it's Killer Frost, yeah, that's right. Oh, that's what made it funnier, actually. Killer Frost just appears and is like, hey, look, yes, you have nothing to be thankful for, but would you rather be eating food with people who like you? Good food, proper cooked meal. Well, not if Iris made it, admittedly, though. I checked that. Or would you rather stay here and eat peanuts? And they're like, yeah, that's a good point, actually. This is a very simple deduction.
Food sounds good.
Yes, they go for the food, which I can buy that. I can buy that as a motivation. And that's pretty much it. But nah, even the part where Caitlin and Cisco are like, yeah, we'll just celebrate butchering natives. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that this year. They get really cynical and jaded and all upset.
And Sherlock pulls that out at the end because he has no concept of a filter.
It felt like I turned up to that episode that a lot of TV shows do of Valentine's Day, where there's that one cynical lonely person who hates Valentine's Day because they don't have anyone. That's kind of what this did, but just like with two of them for lots of other depressing reasons.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was fun for what it was. I
can't wait for the Valentine's episode this year, and we can hear more about Sherlock's ex-wives.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping for that. I want to meet them. I hope it's like Parks and Rec where we have Tammy 1 through 6 or 1 through 5. But 2 of them will also double up.
And 3 part 2.
So in terms of Cicada, this episode.
Do we have to?
We have to, yes. Barry almost runs into him at the start of the episode because the nurse lady or the doctor lady's covering for him. And just kind of manages to talk him out of it and says, no, he has no next of kin. She has no next of kin. They're all dead.
No, it's not. I don't think it's that. It's that she gets around by being technically true. She has no. Her parents are dead.
Oh, true, yeah. Okay, she's very specific with the word. And then we find out in flashbacks that it's her uncle who gets sort of, lumped with her when he died. And so here, last episode I was saying, or maybe it was the episode before, I don't know if Cicada was in the last one. They blur together in my head.
They do when they get shit, don't they?
But I was saying how Cicada was almost at that line, almost crossing the line where he's so bad it's funny, right? And he was still on this line. He was still just very bad for almost all of this episode. But the final flashback at the end finally nudged him over. Right? It finally did it. Because, so it's very bad. He's this just awful asshole. And
he's on the phone going, come and take this stupid kid. I don't want a kid.
Yeah, and then she walks
Screw
around.
This next of kin bollocks.
It was basically the plot of Big Daddy, where she's like, can I have breakfast? And he's like, here's a 2 days old Chinese food. This'll do.
That'll do.
But that is literally a scene in Big Daddy. There's a scene where the kid wants breakfast and he's not got anything.
Yeah, but that's not the best part of this. Or / the worst part of this.
The scene?
No. This story bit. It's not the oh no breakfast. It's not that scene.
The fact that she's a better actor than he is?
No. Although that is also true.
She does. She's not even that good, but she outacts him in every single scene.
It is. Except maybe when she's just shouting rat bastards.
Oh, that was the best part. That was a tour de force. Melissa Benoist better watch her back because this kid is coming for her. Rat bastard! And he's like, you can't say that! You can't say that!
And she's like, why not you say it? It's like, yeah, well, parents need to teach you something. Well, you're not a parent.
And then he makes like a really thinly veiled promise about doing up this house together. She's got a dollhouse. And then it's like a year later, and this is the night of the satellite going. It's like, I made a promise to you a year ago, and I've become a better person because of you, and I love you, Pookie or whatever he calls her, and then of course they black out because of the enlightenment, and then the ship or the satellite pieces start hitting things, and she dies, or not dies, but she's in a coma.
Yeah.
Aye. And that's the whole thing. So I want to talk about the final flashback though, where she's in the hospital and the doctors explain to her that she might never wake up. And on the news, right, the Flash saved the city. Everyone's cheering up at the Flash. He saved thousands of people, millions of people even. And he's looking up and he's like, and he's looking really, really like dead evil serious. And this is he gets so angry at the dagger that the Flash it just happens to be shaped like a lightning bolt. Comes into his hand and he stands up.
Letters.
And he's the line. He's like little girl's name, whatever her name is. I promise you. And then the final line of the episode is him in the worst performance he's done yet. And I mean this. He goes, every meta will die. And it is the most overacted shite I have ever seen in my life. It is garbage. And I laughed. Hysterically. I am at the point now where I officially love Cicada. I want more of him. Give me more of this every week.
Cicada is your Prometheus.
He kind of is. He's becoming my Prometheus. This was garbage. It was so garbage, though, that I was laughing hysterically. He's finally crossed that line. This was the moment. It was the moment he just... Because, do you know what it felt like? It felt like a kid doing an impression of a villain.
Yeah.
Where he's like, every mirror will die. And it just, it was so hammy. It was, he's finished eating the scenery. He's eating the lighting kits behind the scenery now.
Yeah.
Anyway, what did you say your favourite part, or worst part of the whole plot was?
Oh, no, it's that rat bastards. I hate
rat
that
bastards.
was atrocious. But, oh my God, I'm not with, I'm not with you on, he crossed the line, but I'm not with you on wanting more. I'm not there.
Well, hold on. Two things worth mentioning here is not only is next episode the mid-season finale before the crossover, it's also the 100th episode. So, they need to pull out the big guns next episode.
Yeah, and do you know what? Here's the really sad part.
Mm-hmm.
If we weren't doing this show, this would be the point where I go, screw it, I'm not watching anymore. Episode 99 is like, no, I'm out.
But we review the show on this.
We do review the show.
So you're doing it. You're watching it, scumbag. You rat bastard. So you're going to watch it. So
I really wanted to tell you to call the title of this video "Rat Bastards," but
YouTube
will be a dick.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of leaning towards all metas will die.
I think we should probably take something from Arrow this week.
Like what? I had no good lines though.
Oh, I'll find one.
You seem like a friendly chap. Anyway, so yeah, 100th episode next week. And shows, I get excited for 100th episodes of shows because they tend to pull out all the stops and like get a lot of nostalgia.
Even Arrow had a decent 100th.
Yeah, for Arrow standards, it was fine. You know, had characters come back.
It did what it was supposed to do.
So I'll tell you, I've not seen anything about the 100th, but if Thawne in some capacity is not in it, they've made a mistake.
I believe he is.
It can be Wells Thawne, it can be real Thawne. I don't care.
Right.
But
okay.
It has to be Thawne.
Mild spoilers here for next week.
Okay.
Or for more accurately, mild spoilers for like 2 days. I believe they're doing multiple Wells. We're having like a greatest hits of the Wells.
Okay.
So that's kind of their thing for the 100th, as from what I've seen.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily include Thawne.
Oh, including Wellsabad.
Sure, okay. Right.
Yeah.
But he's not really a Wells, if that makes sense.
No, but he's the season 1 Wells.
Alright, so we're having all the Wells. Yeah, but HR's dead.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do that one.
Time travel.
Why not?
Time travel. Yeah, I mean, that seems fine. It makes me think, though, that we can't wrap up Cicada before the mid-season.
No.
Which sucks.
Do you know what? It's kind of going into the 100th next week. It's kind of weird that we've not really heard... you just said you've not seen much about it.
Yeah.
They've not really made a big deal. Like, when Arrow had its 100th, a couple of years back, it was a huge big deal. We were hearing stuff about it for like a month in advance.
Mm.
And this one, and this one, I'm like, yeah, I saw something on Reddit this week, but I'm really, they've not been pushing it at all. It's kind of weird.
Well, Cicada's still involved in the next episode.
Oh, way to drag down your 100th.
No, that seems to be the why they go on the quest that results in everything.
The Wells quest.
Yeah. So that's fine. I mean, hopefully it delivers. It's directed by Tom Cavanagh, actually.
He's done some good stuff on the show. So
he's going to be directing multiple characters of himself. It's a one-man show. Man! Why isn't this one called All Wells That Ends Wells? This is where you use that title.
Didn't we already do that one?
That was the title of his book. I don't think that was the title of an episode.
Oh, okay. I remember hearing it, so I assume.
Yeah, it'd be a reference to HR's book.
What is it called?
It's called What's Past Is Prologue. Which is fine, but...
Yeah.
I feel like this is the episode you should have saved The Fastest Man Alive for.
Yeah.
Or Scarlet Speedster, or... one of the key flash phrases.
We haven't had Scarlet Speedster, have we?
I don't think we have, but you never know.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
I don't remember all 99 titles.
No, but you remember the one, like the big
Sure.
prominent ones they've used, like Fastest Man Alive.
Mm. Yeah. Wasn't that was quite early on?
That was season 1 for sure.
Yeah. So hopefully the 100th delivers. Hopefully the 100th can pull out some big guns and
The real question
hit
is,
nostalgia.
do we get Eddie back?
If we get season 1 Wells, then Eddie's a possibility.
It is. God, I hope so. Like, they even mentioned Ronnie this week, which was weird. They haven't done that in a while.
We're probably going to see him next week then.
That's true.
That's why. That's why he reminded us that he existed, because we was.
And they remind us conveniently that he died and he was a casualty of that first season.
Yeah, that feels very specific now that we're talking about this. I hope Eddie does show up, and I hope Eddie has to deal with the fact that Barry and Iris are married. I hope he finds out.
I hope Eddie has to kill himself again.
No, I want Ralph to step in and go, "Hey, buddy, vasectomy."
Can we do that and just change the course of the show? You know how they did with Pied Piper?
Yes, where he became an ally who we've not seen since.
Yeah, just like, I don't know. He's a friend. What do you want about Barry? I want Barry to come back, and then be just like, yeah, of course Eddie's still alive. What you want about?
Just have Eddie back, yeah.
Just have Eddie back.
Yeah.
I never see him again, obviously, but just have him back.
He's he was at the wedding. He was a guest.
Yeah.
The Nazi, one of them killed him. One of the Nazis killed him at the wedding.
Yeah.
So he did die. He just died later. Yeah, he had to come to Barry and Iris' wedding, and it literally killed him.
That's funny.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the final show of the week, which is Black Lightning. Season 2, episode 7. It's called The Book of Blood, Chapter 3, The Sange, which is actually the last Sange. So there you go. Sorry. And this is the final of the 3. So I actually kind of dig that they're doing arcs in a way, because admittedly the first 4 didn't necessarily feel like an arc in and of itself, but these 3 have done.
These 3 have. The first, I mean, I guess by default.
I guess the way I look at it is that the first 4 was like maybe the bookend of the one that just deals with the season as a whole. So the final one might feel like that as well. But
yeah,
we've got this 3, and then because I thought it'd be 4 4s because there's 16 episodes. But no, fair enough. If they're going to do some 3-episode arcs, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
that's fine. So we had Black Lightning looking for the baby and following the liquid metal, the element as they call it, and I did think he get taken down a bit easily here, but at the same time, I'm thinking, was it intentional? Because the rest of it kind of played out that way.
I don't think it was. I think it was just made the best of the situation.
He did mention that he was losing charge because he was far away from anything electric for a while.
Yeah.
So, fair enough. He was weaker, so I'll take it. I did like, though, because I was thinking, well, because they were electrocuting him to torture him, I went, would that even work with him?
Make him stronger.
Yeah, but I mean, they addressed it because after he got enough intel and Looker left, he's like, yeah, by the way,
thanks for the charge.
Yeah, my power doesn't come from my suit; it comes from electricity. So thanks very much.
Yeah.
he's like, you know what? I'm just going to take this torture for 20 minutes and absorb all this. It's fine.
Yeah.
So I like that well enough. Honestly, I'll maybe some complaints about Khalil not being as interesting as he should be. My biggest problem with this episode is probably that the final fight feels like it takes place like 10 minutes before the end. It felt like it happened really early in the episode.
There's that. I have another problem as well.
Because I like that scene a lot, though. I like the fight in the mall with thunder and lightning, taking everyone out.
It was. I have a problem with the Gambi stuff in that already. Really.
Well, we said that last episode when they revealed it.
Yeah, but I thought but we said, but I'm sure it'll be a big deal when they find out, and I don't think it's been long enough for it to really be a big deal.
It's funny. I feel like when it makes a mistake like this, it somehow is never as bad as it could be because the scene where they do it is handled well enough on its own that, the scene where he actually shows up and he wants to punch him, but then he hugs him and cries. Is like. This is so well acted that I can't even be hard about it right now.
Honestly, as a scene on its own, it's great.
Yeah.
The problem is, if this had come after another 2 or 3 episodes of him not thinking he was dead, this would have so much more weight automatically just because of the time that had passed.
Do you think he keeps the secret from the others?
Yes.
You do, okay. You think he'll well, you know what? No, let everyone believe you're dead because you have to find out who tried to assassinate you.
Yeah.
I can see that. I will say this: I did get excited though when he found the
tracker.
The tracker, because he picked it up and smiled, and I'm like, oh, he just knows. You didn't even have to think about it. He just knows who that is.
Yeah.
And he's like, damn it, that son of a bitch. And he goes, actually, the funniest moment in this episode might be when he just shows up at Henderson, because he rescues the baby. And he has to go fight Looker and help Thunder. Nissa's fighting on her own, and she's holding her own, but she's outnumbered and she's getting beat up by Looker. And he just shows up at Henderson and says, "Here, look after this baby for a while. I'll come back later."
She needs changing.
She's changing, and I love the idea that maybe Henderson does have kids, but they may be long grown up and left.
You just hear Henderson calling his wife.
Yeah,
it's like, oh shit.
Because unless you actually have a baby in the house, you won't have anything to help with a baby being changed.
No, I mean, I say he might have been a parent, so he's like, okay, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, unless he happens to have a 1 to 3 year old at a time.
Yeah,
he's not going to have the supplies in the house.
Probably not.
Which is what makes she needs to be changed even funnier.
Does it's like good luck with that.
Get a blanket or something, just kind of
just wing it.
Yeah, that's it. As a newborn, so I suppose it's probably just in a blanket anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. But yeah. So no, I dig Looker. I enjoyed her last episode. I thought she was fun. This one, she's kind of done now, at least for now. We might see her again because we know she's going to the ESA for testing.
And she obviously knows Jefferson's identity, right?
Well, I think she would if someone shows a picture of him, she will know it's him.
He's a relatively prominent figure in the town.
In Freeland, this is South Freeland, different town.
Yeah, but I figure it's maybe it's close enough that hey, they might have seen him on the local news. Given
that Nissa and that had never heard of Purdy or Sange until they encountered these characters, I don't know.
That's fair.
I feel Freeland and South Freeland feel fairly separate to me from what they've presented to me in the show. The fact that Nissa has to drive there and it's like, it's not just like she crosses a border and she's in South Freeland. She has to go down like a highway or a bit long road to get there.
Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, but fair enough. But she's all kidnapped.
Yeah,
and whatever. So that was fun enough. I thought it was a solid villain for a 3-episode arc.
I think she's alright. I don't think I was ever as into her as you have been.
That's fair.
Fine.
But yeah, so Lynn comes to help a little bit with that plot. And we have Nissa's with Grace a bit more properly by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And her skin thing's playing up, so we're getting to her powers soon. We're building to that. And I did check the next episode is a chapter 1, so this is definitely the end of this book.
So are we because obviously it's gonna have another 2 episodes before it takes its break.
This is true.
Is it ending in the middle of one of those stories?
I only have the title for the next one, so I can't tell you.
So I'm gonna have a quick look, see if I can check.
It could just be a 2-parter.
No, we have 1 episode left. So we've got Book of Rebellion chapter 1 is next week, and then that's it till January.
All right, so Black Lightning stops a week earlier than.
According to where I'm looking now, anyway. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well.
Which I get. It frustrates me. I'm like, just stop here then.
Yeah, but then Legends comes back a week later.
Yeah, no, pros and cons. But I like the idea of just end on a neat point because, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did a really good job of splitting into the arcs, and they had the breaks between them, and that worked really well. So
I mean, this could have a good cliffhanger. They might have planned for this, even though it's the middle of a story. They might have planned for it as a.
They could have done, yeah.
At least maybe this is why this makes sense to be the one that comes back before Legends, because it
needs to just continue, or it will lose steam. Yeah,
it's structured like this. Yeah, that makes sense. So the Jennifer stuff with Khalil, I'll tell you what I liked about this. First of all,
go on.
Jennifer, knowing what to do with her powers is actually kind of cool.
Finally.
Like that whole thing where she like disrupts all the electrical devices like in the street or the alleyway.
Yeah.
Because obviously Tobias has got him tracked, which is why they're following him. Presumably in his his implant or spinal
and
cord
she
thing.
presumably short circuits that as well because
Yeah.
they lose the signal.
And she's got the ball of lightning and all that, and I love how at one point he kind of like, wait, do your parents like you? And it's almost like if she said yes, he might have maybe even, if he thinks about it long enough, he might even make a guess who her father is.
He still might.
He still might. Yeah, obviously he doesn't have a long time to think about it here, but it's not a wild thing to guess now.
It's not crazy speculation, is it?
No. But no, they have this whole understanding thing, and Khalil doesn't want to kill the Reverend. He tries to make him leave, and he won't because he's stubborn, and prideful. Which you can't hate the Reverend for it, but you get why Khalil's like, just please leave so Tobias doesn't kill both of us.
Reverend's kind of a badass though.
Yeah, I also kind of liked how we only see Tobias in that one moment where he kind of shows up when Khalil tries to run.
Yeah.
As much as I love having Tobias around because I like his scenes, it made his presence of being this like in the shadows guy that's going to come and get him more effective in this episode. I think
it did. Yeah.
So I like that. Khalil himself's just a bit bland compared to the other characters.
He is. Yeah.
I thought it was a bit more interesting in the last episode. This one, he's fine. Like the plot's doing fine. I like what it's doing for Jennifer because I like that when they go to her therapist and they like demand to know where she is. She kind of warns them like, "Hey, she's getting control of her powers, and if you keep pushing her away and making her angry, the results might be very bad if she gets upset."
Yeah, I'm a little like so. It kind of. It's just telling me that she's crazy powerful. Like she's the most powerful one I've ever seen, and I've not really seen anything to justify that yet.
Maybe not to justify it to that extent. I thought the alleyway stuff did kind of that felt more like powerful to an extent than what Black Lightning or Thunder are, in the sense that it was like, because even the voice, like she was talking to him, it felt very powerful in the way it was presented. But I think that's fair. I like the idea though that she's an angsty teenager, and if you upset her in the wrong way, she might do something stupid.
Yeah, it kind of feels like she's running off with Khalil as well at the minute.
Yeah, she does. And I think what will work with this, at least unless they ruin it. Which, to be fair to this show, they've not really done that with anything.
No, not yet.
Is the idea that she's not actually done anything bad yet. She believes in Khalil. She believes that he's not actually as bad as everyone thinks he is. And because of that, she's sticking with him. And she even talked him out of killing someone. That was something she did.
Positive influence.
I think this is going to be one of these things where the parents will expect the worst and they might try and be nice to her because they're worried what she might do. But she actually is good enough of a person that she wouldn't cross any stupid lines.
Yeah. See, this is it. Like, even though the show has done nothing to really incur any cynicism.
You're just cynical by nature.
No, I am. But are you not a little bit cynical that they're going to be like, oh, she's run off with Khalil? Oh, all this power. And it's kind of going to be a bit, I don't know, this CW-esque.
Possibly. My main concern right now is that if they're gone for a while, and let's say, Lynn and Jefferson accept it and just sort of accept that she has to kind of find herself a little bit. My worry is that for those few episodes where they're gone, that the subplots we might get because they're separate from everyone else might be a bit more tedious than what it's been when they're more integrated with everyone. Because usually Jennifer's with the rest of the family, usually Khalil's with Tobias. Like, it's and I like Jennifer actually on her own as well anyway, but it's just Khalil really. Usually
Khalil drags it down a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, Khalil's usually got a bit of Tobias stuff going on as well, which makes him a bit more spicy in that sense.
Yeah, I feel like Tobias is strong enough to override Khalil in any scene they're in together. But I don't think Jennifer is. I think she's a good character. She's really interesting. I think she's at her best when she's playing off the rest of the family.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think she's at her worst when she's paired with Khalil.
Yeah. The one upside here, though, is this is a completely new dynamic for them, at least. Because it's okay, right? We both have powers. We're on the run. It's more plot, because up until now, it's just kind of been, he's just the boyfriend because he already is the boyfriend. And then he's hurt, and then he's become pain. And, and I said this last week, but the transition from Khalil to him with the powers was the biggest kind of leap in logic I think this show's ever had had me swallow.
Yeah, I mean, we complained about that last season, though.
Yeah, we did. And I feel like over time I'm getting more used to it, but I'm just like, oh, this is just who he is now, and it's fine. But
I think it feels so weird to have him go, he went so all in on being Painkiller, and now it feels like, oh, hang on a second, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe they went too far with what he was doing in season 1. That it feels a bit more off now.
So, yeah, I'm getting a bit of whiplash from it.
Yeah. Okay. My usual technique with characters like this is just, okay, what did they do for the other character? Because Jennifer's the important one. What is he doing for her in her story? So that's what I'll be looking at for their subplot for the next, assuming they stay separate for a while, because I think they will.
I think whatever this next arc is, this next book.
Yeah. I do like that Jefferson and Lynn kind of realized, oh wait, if we keep pushing her, because when she says, hey, she might get really alienated if you keep pushing her like this.
Yeah, see, this is all well and good, except the realization's too, like, it's already happened. She's gone.
Why is that a problem?
I don't, because I feel like it to me it's a little bit drama just for the sake of it. Like, I felt that they didn't even have a chance to take it into account. It's just as soon as they got told that oh, hang on, she's this powerful, you might want to.
No, but that feels true to life to me. That feels like, oh, by the time you realised it was already too late. That feels very.
If you come to that if you come to that realization on your own, I agree. But they were just told this. They were warned. So for me, it's more interesting if they have the warning and then kind of ignore it, right? And they kind of go, no, we've got this. But by the time they're warned, it's already too late.
I think they both work. I think they both work. I feel like the way you're describing it's the more typical way to do it.
Yeah, it's more typical, but for a reason. To me, there's more. It works better for the characters for me because here, to have them being warned and then fail, whatever they do, actually have some impact. There's something, and then have that realization afterwards has some in that for the characters. Whereas here, it feels like, okay, no, they're warned, but they've got no chance to actually change anything. It's already too late. It's already, okay, damage is done.
Well, that's kind of the bittersweet part, right? That's the tragic part. There wasn't even a chance to take this information and do anything with it. For me, this makes it almost feel more like, I don't want to say realistic, but just more kind of like sod's luck, right? You know, it feels like because it's not neat enough. That's what makes it feel a bit more.
Yeah, see, I like that
natural.
If they come to the realization themselves. Like if they're like, hang on, you know, if they start to realize what they're doing and kind of notice they've pushed her away, and by that point it's too late. But they don't. They're just told it by the therapist. They're like, oh yeah, you should probably just be careful there.
I don't think I've got a problem with this too much. I mean, to do it your way, you'd have to rewrite the entire arc and how we get there to that point.
Yeah. I don't know, it just bugged me a little bit.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that because it is a mistake they're making, is that they've not even realised it.
No, that's true.
And they've been told, and they actually, because they're very angry with this woman, they're shouting at her, like, no, where's her damn daughter? But this kind of makes them shut up because, oh shit, she may have a point.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I think there's some truth to that, and how it's portrayed. By the way, I'm just noticing on IMDb, the average rating on Black Lightning's episodes are much lower than the other shows. I feel like there's a bunch of racist assholes who are downvoting just because.
Yeah, that seems wrong.
Because, I mean, I'm looking at the last three. It's a 5.6, a 6.1, and a 5.8.
Now, I've been a little bit more down on these last
it's not the whole way up. I'm just picking the last three.
No, that's what I mean. I'm a little bit more down on these last three as an arc. By
comparison, the last three Flash episodes in reverse order are 8.3, 8.3, and an 8.
Fuck off.
I feel like there's some targeting going on here from hurt individual. In fact, to quote a very scene in this episode, actually, another line that made me laugh in this is when Jefferson's being interrogated by Looker, and she says, "Oh, we're alike, you and I," and he's like, "You're a racist." He's like, "You went straight to racist. Why did you go straight there?" And he just says, "Nice flag," and the camera just goes over and us. The Confederate flag on the wall, and I'm like, yeah, he's got to put. Also, the dead black people strung up in your trees is also maybe a dead giveaway, you crazy bitch. Right, what we say?
So I'm just in shock still. Are you telling me that Flash's leaping the roof has an 8?
You mean Irish sleeping the roof?
Yeah, that episode.
Yes, has an 8. Yes, that one has an 8. An average rating of 8.
Why are we even bothering doing this show?
The highest rated episode of Black Lightning is the first one of this season was 6.4.
What?
This is clearly rating bombed by people who want to have lower ratings.
Yeah, but who's boosting the Flash that much?
Because people who rate the Flash are people who like the Flash, so it typically skews high.
Well, I like the Flash, but there's still problems.
Yeah. Well, some hardcore fans aren't as level-headed as individuals as we are.
Yeah. It's weird being the level-headed one.
Yeah.
I don't think I like it.
Yeah, so I'll call that out. I just noticed that there for the first time, and I think it's worth.
That's shitty. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning. It's kind of like I'm pretty sure Dear White People, for another example, has really low ratings in IMDb.
That show's great.
And I'm just looking at Titans ratings. Oh, if you're angry at Flashes, you're angry at these.
No.
8.7, 8.6, 9, 8.8, 8.4, 8.9, 8.3. That's all the episodes from the newest to the last to the oldest.
I'm going to assume there are really, really, really small sample size.
Actually,
oh god, it's in the thousands, isn't it?
What Black Lightning has about 200 plus ratings per episode, give or take. Titans has at least 1,000 on most of them.
Right, this last episode, Asylum, that we clearly weren't that hot on.
Yes.
What did you say that score was?
8.7.
With how many?
720. It goes down as you go. Once you get to episode 5 and back, they're all over 1,000.
I hate the internet. No, I don't. I hate people.
That said, we're arguing about two different things here. One is people just having like, oh, I'll just rate everything I like a 10, and then the other is, oh, I'm racist, I'm going to review bomb something.
Yeah, but ultimately both fall under me hating people.
Sure, okay, yes, they're both under the genre of people being awful. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Different reasons, but it's still applicable.
Yes. But yeah, that moment with the flag really made me laugh.
Yeah, me too.
It was a good moment. It was a good moment. So yeah, that is all the shows, which means we can finally pick our favourite of the week. So, has Arrow done the impossible, Connor? I'm asking you this.
I'm genuinely considering it.
Did you like Arrow more than Legends of Tomorrow and Black Lightning? Because those are clearly the next two good best ones.
They are.
Right.
I think I probably enjoyed it more than Black Lightning.
That's fair.
So it's at least second, which, I mean, is already an achievement, right?
It's kind of sad. I'm not actually sure which one I think's worse. I feel like Titans, Supergirl, and Flash are all kind of
equally shite.
They all have their moments. They all have qualities, but they all have a lot of problems as well.
Yeah.
It may actually. Is it still Flash? No, maybe Supergirl. I don't know. It's hard. They're close though. They're close. As for best though, see, I don't know. I feel like the problem here is that there's a temptation to say Arrow because it was genuinely really fun and good.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What we have to consider is we have given episodes in the past the best episode award, not because it's clearly the best episode,
because it's a standout.
It's a standout for its show.
But here's the thing. But we've done that in the past, because we did that with episode 3 of Supergirl, right? That's the recent example. Yeah. That was because it was really ambitious in what it was doing storytelling-wise, and we really respect that. When I look at this week's, it's like, well, do I like Arrow more than Legends this week, or am I giving it to Arrow just because of the shock?
There's the shock, but it did have a legitimately great one-er.
It did. That did. Which made the really choppy scene in Titans that should have been a one-er even weirder.
Yeah, but also Legends. You know.
I'm going to give it to Arrow. And my argument for Arrow is because it never faltered. I mean, with the exception of the last 5 seconds because I saw characters I didn't want to see, but it was obvious it was going to do that at the end. It stayed focused and right down the middle the whole time and never stopped being fun. Legends, while both plots were fun, there was one that I clearly preferred over the other. So by its nature, when it cut back to the Minotaur stuff, it was like, oh, well, this is the less good one. I never felt that in Arrow. So for that reason...
That's true. And as much as you say, oh, I had those characters the last 5 seconds, they didn't actually do anything. They didn't actively go and make anything worse other than just be there.
Diggle never said anything. I don't know if Felicity did. She kissed him.
She just hugged him? Kissed him?
Yeah, maybe. I can't remember. But... So for that reason, for the first time in the history of television from the multiverse, Arrow is getting pick of the week.
Yeah,
from
it is.
Both of us.
Yeah. This is a moment. What episode number are we on?
This is 55, I think.
So it's only taken a bit over a year of episodes, but it's happened.
Don't get used to it.
It'll probably never happen again.
I don't know, if we get one every, say, 3 seasons, and this might still be going in 3 seasons time.
And let's be honest, if it's still fighting if it's against the quality that Flash and Supergirl are putting out at the minute.
Oh, but Batwoman better come in with the guns blazing, I'm telling you. Not literally, of course, because she's Batwoman.
yeah. I mean, Batwoman can use guns.
Yeah, but I don't want it to be a constant thing. Like, I feel like it's the sort of thing where it'll be a big deal that she uses one.
Yeah, but she can.
She can. Versus Batman, she can, and it won't be out of character.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. So next week's notable because next week has all the mid-season finales, except Legends, which has and the reason why I say that is because obviously we have one more for most of them, but they're the crossover episodes. So for Flash, Supergirl, and Arrow, the next episode are the mid-season finales, and for Flash especially, it's episode 100. So we'll see what they do with that.
Main event next week for Flash.
Main event, yeah, should be anyway. Hopefully they do something. Hopefully they pull it off because let's be honest. Flash did have Enter Flash time last year, which was fantastic.
So good.
So they can do it.
They can. I hate how I'm not excited.
But hey ho, that is what's happening. So once again, like we said at the start, there's a poll right now on YouTube, MailFuzz TV. Click the community tab, and you'll see a poll for picking one of the 2 shows that will be on the off-season episodes once all the regular CW shows end. For the mid-season. The vote right now is between Gotham, Birds of Prey, and Swamp Thing. Obviously, season 1's for all shows, or in Birds of Prey's case, the only season. And you can pick one of those. Next week, by the time we do the next episode, the second poll will be up to pick the second show. And we kind of split them into 2 categories. It's not like 2 of these ones can win.
There's the shows that we consider to be legitimately good classic DC shows, and then these.
And then the ones that we expect to not like. And these are the ones we expect to not like. But that's not to say that... I mean, Birds of Prey could surprise me. It looked bad from what I've seen, but it could surprise me.
And we know next to literally nothing about Swamp Thing other than, hey, this exists.
The fact that no one talks about it, though, is why I'm assuming it's probably bad.
Yeah.
But hey, again, it could be a gem. Gotham, I've seen a few episodes of. We both know we hate it.
I saw, like... 7 or 8.
Yeah, I don't know if I got that. I got to like 4 or 5.
I got a few more past.
Yeah.
To be fair, when I say I saw, it was on behind me while I did the washing up for the last few episodes. So I heard 7 or 8.
I will say this, so we got a comment on the poll saying that Gotham gets legitimately great in season 2. And I don't know if I've heard that from other people. I have heard, though, from several people, though.
It's insane.
It gets so insane that it's really entertaining once you get to season 2. So maybe we'll be singing a different tune once we get there. But from those early few episodes, expect Smallville levels of trashing.
Oh yeah,
possibly more.
We got Balloon Man to deal with.
Oh, we got Balloon Man. You're gonna hear me complain about Balloon Man so much. All right, so assuming it wins, of course, which it's in the lead right now. But
hey, you can swing that vote if you want to hear us talk about Swamp Thing.
The USA Network show that we never heard of until we started researching for shows that we could possibly do for off-season episodes. But yeah, so, and as with the previous off-season shows, we'll continue those 2 until we've done with the season, and then we'll swap around again. Probably in about a year or so's time. But yeah, so that's the show. So obviously, as always, go over to patreon.com/mailedfuzztv if you want to support the show and the channel and everything we do here. Remember that we also do comics from the multiverse, which is the DC Comics equivalent, where it's the actual comic books every week, and it's us two plus Matt who do that every week. So check out that.
Especially this week, big episode. We got the next issue of the latest event,
Heroes in Crisis. Yes, we're doing Heroes in Crisis issue 3. I'm pretty sure there was something else big this week, and I can't. Oh, the End of Drowned Earth. That's what I was thinking of. End of Drowned Earth. The week after's got Doomsday Clock issue 8 as well, so that's big.
Just checking the calendar that I'm not away for some reason. Genuinely paranoid.
It's a good week for it because it's a quieter week of books, so we can speak up for an hour about Doomsday Clock and not feel bad about it.
And I should be here.
You'll get called away last minute. This is the logic that happens.
Don't do that. Manager threatened to call me in tomorrow.
Oh.
To create a bloody Christmas tree for the shop. I was like, no, you come. It's off.
Anyway, so yes, so check out that. Also worth mentioning, I think we're just thinking about this right now, but Detective Comics 1000, which also happens to be the 80th anniversary of the creation of Batman, is in March. So I think in March we're going to try and review a lot of Batman movies. I think the plan is to start recording them in the near future so that we can conceivably have a month of non-stop Bat action.
We'll just give you Bat all the time.
Yes, but
every day.
This will be the Bat channel for a month. And there'll be. I imagine that the goal is going to be the 4 movies plus the 3 Nolan movies.
Yeah, we're going Octoberthon style. We're gonna have Bat stuff every day, 5 days a week.
Every day? How about, where are all these other movies coming from?
We'll find some.
The animated ones.
Yeah, well, hang on. You've overlooked 66 already, so
that's low on the priority. I think
it is not.
The 4 plus the 3 Nolan are the main ones. If you want to consider 66 and BVS,
it is a key part of the Bat mythos.
If you want to do 66 and like BVS is the
we've done BVS.
Extensions.
We just repost that.
Nah, there was too much swearing in that original version.
The PG edit.
You kidding me? We dropped like 500 F-bombs in that review.
And that movie deserved every single one of them.
It did.
I wouldn't want to review it without them.
But I'm not sitting editing that.
Well, then tough.
That's not happening.
That was a fun hate fest.
Oh, I've never been so angry. Alright, so that is the show. Get us on the Twitters at DC Comics Podcast. You can like, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Liking and subscribing is really boring to say at the end of every episode, but it actually does help with the YouTube metrics and how they show up in searches and things like that. And of course supporting Patreon and everything else. But that is us, so thank you very much once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching silly superhero TV shows and listen to us complain about them, because life's short enough that you may as well. But always remember that sometimes we screw things up for the better.